Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Is that Cupcake? Why? I believe it is. Welcome, welcome, Cupcake. Welcome, welcome. Hi. How are all y'all? How's everybody doing today? Welcome. Yay! You finally get to hang out again after one day of your Dinoboi's absence. And yes, indeed I am. I am wearing glasses today. Welcome, y'all. Cute as... Aw, thank you. Thank you for the kind compliment. You don't look too bad yourself, Cuffy. Everybody looking very cute. Beautiful energy as usual in chat. Welcome, welcome. Now, in case we do have any new folks, especially since there might actually be some new folks that'll watch this VOD in case they want to look back on this and be like, yeah, I want to see if there was anything interesting. Like, did the Dinoboi actually share anything of substance, or did he just like keep ranting dumb stuff? But now, yes, introduction. Hello, everybody. My name is Ryzar Blazenfang, one heck of a Dinoboi from First Stage Production Ian, second generation Ravanis. And today we are gonna be talking about a very important topic. Yeah. Now we're gonna be talking about the currently ongoing Gen 3 auditions. However, even though this is technically going to be a little bit of a discussion geared towards that, this stream will also cover a bit of my own personal, I'll be talking from my own personal experience, not just with auditioning for FSP, but for other things as well. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to make this a fun discussion. We're going to make it fun, not just for the people that are trying to seek advice from a dumb Dinoboi, but also, yeah, I think this will be a fun discussion for the Ryzars as well. I think, if anything, this will almost be like a ZATSU, because you're going to get to learn more about your Dinoboi, as well as how he kind of thinks as well when it comes to tackling situations like this. And, the thing is, with what we're going to discuss today, it's not just for Gen 3 auditions even. I think some of the pointers you can get from this discussion, you can apply to other things in life. Or even like other types of auditions, like maybe you're trying to apply for a role in theater or something. Or who knows, maybe for other places. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of what I will be talking about will be geared towards preparing for a Gen 3 audition, specifically in mind. So that should be really, really fun. We're gonna try to make it as educational as possible. Edumacational. Yeah. Who dumb? Me. Look. But no, now, yeah, I think you guys will definitely get to know me a bit more through this stream. I think, if anything, auditions are something I've done a lot of. Like a lot of. Not necessarily for VTubing, but for like a lot of other stuff outside of VTubing. Because, to be honest... Wait, I need to sneeze. Oh my god! So, by the way, my energy might be a bit mid-tier today, because I'm down with like the sniffles and the allergies. They're kind of being pain, and I don't know, my sleep has been weird, but I'm okay. Honestly, I'm okay. It was like worse yesterday, but now it's like so much better. But yeah, as I was saying, I've dealt with a lot of auditions in the past, so I've definitely had my fair share of, just going through these different processes, getting accepted, getting rejected. I will say, though, that I've never really properly applied for a VTuber corpo. If ever I did, I didn't really take it seriously. FSP Ian actually just so happens to be the very first one I actually took really, really seriously. And hey, you know what? My first like serious attempt at trying to join a company, and it actually worked out in the end. You know, I made it somehow. I managed to sneak my way into first stage production EN. So yeah, I guess I did something right? Yeah, I got us here. I've always wanted to be part of a company, and I'm really thankful that I have this opportunity to be able to join first stage production. And you know, I've had a good time so far, I think. Methinks. They don't feed me enough yakiniku, but negotiable. Fate work indeed does work in mysterious ways. Wow, that sounds like a song. That could be a song right there. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to dilly-dally too much. Let's go ahead and head straight into talking business here. Yeah, that's why I have my glasses on. So that every time I look at myself, I end up, you know, it's like that little reminder that you're supposed to be doing an audition advice video, not fool around in a ZATSU. Okay. I'm also going to be answering some questions. I opened Marshmallow earlier, so yeah, we're going to try to dive into some of these. Let's talk about the process first, though. Yeah, we will be talking about the process of auditioning. So, no, wait, let me do that again. Take two. The audition. There we go. Thank you. So you decided you want to join first stage production EN. And you want to try out for the third generation. Good on you. Now, I'm pretty sure at this point, if you decided to audition, you've already seen that there's a few things you're going to need to prepare. Of course, it's number one, the audition video. And number two, you will need to prepare your form. Now, I think what I'll start off with talking about here is the audition video. Actually, in a way, I'll be talking about both sort of from the get-go, but I'll be leaning towards more the audition video first, because from how I see, at least from how I tackled going into this first part, is think of it this way. You know, an example I guess I can give is social media, for example. You maybe crack a joke on social media, or maybe, you know, you try to convey something, but if it's a joke, it doesn't quite land. If you try to convey something, it somewhat gets lost in translation, in the sense that the person viewing whatever you put out there is, you know, like, you don't really get, unless you're like a really creative writer, or you go to the crazy length of almost role-playing whatever you're trying to post. So it can be very hit or miss, right? And I think that's something that's very interesting to keep in mind when you approach the process of starting to apply. Because sure, you have in the form, you have a lot of opportunity to kind of talk about yourself, sell yourself, but it's not going to be as powerful as when you're able to fully express yourself through spoken word. Because through spoken word, you know, there's different things you can do with that. Like, you can really convey the emotion of, you know, what you're trying to say. Like, for example, like if you just type, "I hate hot dogs," then, you know, people could take that literally. But if you're like doing it in video form, for example, Like, let's say, I ate hot dogs, but I don't know. You know, but you guys see what I'm trying to get at here. Like there's a lot more color that you could put into trying to deliver something through an audition video. Now, I think a lot of people have been asking, like, what do you think is the best thing to put in an audition video? Like, is there like some hidden formula you guys use? Is there like a particular structure you guys went for in order to create that one kick-ass audition video? And if you watch the audition advice that we did all together with Ravanis and even maybe with Avalum, the honest answer is there's no real secret to it. Well, there's no real structure to how you can tackle an audition video. At the end of the day, you're really gonna have to think of how you want to present yourself, and you want to structure it in a way that you feel would best represent what you're capable of, like what talents you want to bring forward. So the thing is, yeah, like people have been asking, like, what should I put in that audition video? For the audition video, like, that's essentially your chance to showcase yourself, man. If you can sing, sing. If you can dance, heck, dance. If you feel like you're good at reciting poetry, do that. If artistry is your skill, then heck, showcase like a speed run of making a piece. You know, those like time-lapse videos? Yeah, that could be a good way. Like, there's infinite possibilities, really, with how you can approach making an audition video. What I will say, though, is that, remember, you have a more or less an average of 5 minutes. So it's kind of cliche to say maximize it. But see, that's the thing. Do you want to know a secret, chat? Do you guys want to know a secret? Here's the funny thing, all right? Here's the funny thing. So, actually, after we did the Ravanis audition advice video, we kind of hung out together in group chat, and we ended up like watching each other's audition videos, right? And do you know how long my audition video, like, do you know, like, as far as like what I presented, do you know how long it was? I can't say like what I did, because yeah, like if I say what I did, then a lot of people will like think, oh, you know what, that's what got Ryzar in, so I should probably do it that way too. So yeah, we kind of did a watch along amongst ourselves, and it was kind of funny. The part that I prepared for my audition video, it was only roughly 2 minutes. Yeah, I like mine was like I mean, okay, it went beyond 2 minutes because I added something else to it, but I think as far as what convinced them, what I think might have convinced the Dark Overlords to let me proceed to the next step was that 2 minutes I did in that video, because I think the rest of what I added is just like a little extra, which could have been easily like skipped through. But I think it was like those 2 minutes alone, I believe, that really made an impression. And see, that's the thing. I think those are some of the things you should take into consideration when you're creating your audition video. Not only do you want to think of like how you can showcase yourself, but also it's that really strong first impression, that boom, that click, that pow, that'll, you know, make them glued to your video. Where I think I mentioned this during the Ravanis audition advice. That video, like, you're applying to become a VTuber, guys, right? So a VTuber, or more so, like, the more general picture is you're essentially applying to become a content creator. And as a content creator, especially as a VTuber, you know, there has to be something interesting about you. There's something that you have to have that'll draw the viewer into actually becoming interested in your content. So in my case, I really do believe in like trying to come up in a way to like get them drawn in right away. Pop it in like dynamite. Exactly. I definitely, in my opinion, I definitely popped in like dynamite from the get-go in my audition video. But that's kind of the thing, right? Like, as a content creator, you want to try to figure out those ways that'll get people to watch you. And I think one of the best, like, my mindset, okay, I think this is another important thing, right? Because like creating stuff, sure, like, you know, prepare your audition, you prepare your, you know, you fill up everything in the form, you're good to go, right? I think this is advice that I got from both, I think it was Zanny and Gail who I heard this from, because I highly recommend, by the way, if you're wondering like what my preparation was, like where I got my advice for getting into first stage production EN, it was watching, because I didn't have enough time to, okay, can I be real with you guys? You don't have to do this, by the way. This was just purely a mindset thing. I'm gonna try to put you guys into the mindset of Ryzar Blazenfang when he was applying. Because my thing is that I'm all about like trying to make a good impression, make an impact, making a splash. My mindset going into this audition was, I don't just want to apply. I'm not just trying to apply for any job. I am approaching this audition like that role is fucking, sorry for cursing, that role is gonna be mine. Like, I want the, like, my mindset was, what I'm sending in would be so, like, this is just me hyping myself up, by the way. Throughout the audition, I was like nervous as AF, right? I was like super nervous. And I was like super anxious the entire process. But, you know, at least, you know, it helps, you know, like, it's kind of like a fake it till you make it, but more in terms of like how you program your mind. So my mindset was like, I'm gonna show them that I'm the best guy for this job, that when they see my application, they're gonna think that this is the guy we want. Like, so you don't have to do this, again, by the way, you don't have to do this. So because of that mindset, again, I want to stress this strongly, because I realized after the auditions, this didn't really matter. Like, it didn't really matter. Like, you could submit your audition like towards the end just fine. So why am I mentioning this? Because of that mindset of like, I want them to see my audition and think that, yeah, he's the guy, like, this is the guy we're feeling already for this. I looked at the date they opened auditions for Gen 2, and then, you know, because of my mindset, because I was thinking like, if I want to show that I'm the best for this role, again, this is like just my mindset, okay? You don't have to follow this. Like, my mindset was, if I want them to show them that I'm the best, I want to make sure that I'm one of the first people with one of these strongest auditions that submits. So like, well, when we were checking, like, because when we and Ravanis were like looking at our, you know, we were watching each other's audition videos, I checked my email. I was checking like, when did I send my application actually? And then I look at the, like, when they open. I think it was like, I sent my audition 5 days after they opened. So I was like in this mindset where I need to get my audition, I need to get my form in ASAP, so that I think this is a mindset I got from where did I get this mindset, by the way? I think I got this advice from, I think this was for a job application I did in the past. Like, no, you know what? No, you know where I kind of got this? You know where I got this? It was watching from reality TV. It was from reality TV I got this mindset. Like, my mindset was, I need to make sure I send in my audition right away, so that once they see my audition, once they see how perfect I am for this role, every other audition that comes after me is like, that was that was how I was viewing. Like, I was trying to pump my, like, I'm honestly not a cocky person. Like, I'm the most, you know, I get really anxious in my head, actually. But in that moment, you know, I was like trying to just pump myself up, because it was either I'm gonna think that, or I'm gonna be like nervous AF preparing for this, like hesitating, doubting myself. And you know what? That mindset kind of helped me. Again, I'm not telling you guys to like submit your application within the first week. Take your time. It actually doesn't matter. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter how late you submit. The Dark Overlords will take their time to catch your thing. So yeah, they will check it no matter what. But yeah, it was actually I will say though, that mindset helped me a lot in terms of, like, when I was making the like my audition video, because I was like so pumped up for myself. Like, yes, you don't want to get too cocky either. You don't want to get overconfident. You're, you know, like, be like, yeah, I'm the shit, you know, man, like, I'm the best. Now you don't want to, you just want to try to get to that place where you don't overthink it, you don't doubt yourself. You know what I mean? Because I think that's one of the, I guess that's one thing I wanted to bring up as well when it comes to approaching these auditions. Because I like to look at giving audition advice, not just from what you should put out there, but also like how you can like kind of mentally prepare yourself for this whole thing. Because I'm, again, like, I get nervous, I get anxious about these things, like hella nervous, hella anxious. And sometimes when you have that type of, I know for some of you, like, when you deal with that type of anxiety, you start doubting yourself, you start overthinking, you start being like, is this gonna be good enough? And so, you know, sometimes that's okay. It can be double-edged in the sense that maybe you're looking at it from the perspective of a perfectionist, because you want this to be as perfect as possible, right? But on the other hand, it could, you know, sometimes it could be a detriment where it eats you up, and at the end of the day, you just end up going into it like, yeah, I don't feel confident in this, like, I don't feel like I'm good at, you know, you don't, I mean, that's fine, by the way, that's natural, but you don't want it to affect your process. You don't want it to affect trying to reach the best output that you can. And sometimes that best output is as simple as just making something you're proud of. I think by the time I submitted my audition, I was just thinking to myself that, you know what, regardless of whether I even make it past, like, let's say the Dark Overlords decide, like, you know what, we don't need this guy for now. Like, in my mind, I was thinking, no matter what, I think I did pretty good with my audition. I like what I created. I think it's a great showcase for me. I did what I could, and yeah. So yeah, that's how yeah, something to be proud of. And I think, you know, it's a good mindset to have if you're approaching this, because, you know, there's only you know, at the end of the day, they're only getting like 5 people, right? So even if you don't make it, one of the best things you can do going into this is just at least send in something you can be happy with, you can be proud of, where you can hold your head up high and say, like, you know what, I did good with this. I like what I did. Although, you know what, that's not always the case for me. Sometimes I don't know, like when I record something and I'm like, it's just, like sometimes I look at it like maybe I'm not sure about this, but like other people are saying like, oh, you're fine, or maybe maybe you have that kind of mindset, and that, that's totally fine too, because I have that as well. Like like I really don't think this is good, but other people are like, no, it's great, it's great. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, mindset. Do whatever you can to get yourself in a good headspace, in a good mindset approaching these auditions. And yeah, it was that mindset. I think it was Zanny. If it was not both Zanny and Gil, maybe it was just Zanny that, like this is the role I want, this is the role I need, this is the role I'm going for. Like I'm gonna be the best choice. And yeah, that fake it till you make it kind of, like, yeah, I'm the best choice for this mindset is, if anything, it motivated me, it kept me excited creating the audition video. And yeah, like I said, unfortunately I can't share what I did for that audition video, but heck, I am damn proud. I think it was a really creative way of just showcasing both my personality and my skills. Also, that's probably another thing to note going in with the audition video, because what you're going to put in that audition video is going to be like, we're all going to be unique with how we tackle that audition video, what the content is going to be. Because, some of you are probably going to like, yeah, I can sing, so I'm going to throw that in. I can shake, I can shake it. I'm going to do that for my video. Or, you know what? I don't know, do ballet. I'll do that for my video. I mean, you've seen Avalon. They have 3 days, so you never know when that might come in handy, right? So, yeah. One thing you will need to account for, though, is since it's a video, it's like I was saying earlier, right? With like in text form, when you're filling out the form, you can't really inject as much personality in that. If anything, I'd say you'd want to be as to the point as possible when you do the form. And just like use the audition video to really showcase your personality. Don't be like, again, it's an audition in a corporation for a professional corporation. You don't want to be putting ooh-woos and emojis and all that crazy stuff in your form. Be as straight to the point as possible. Like, whatever you can't put in your audition video, whatever you can't highlight in your audition video, you can always put in the form. That's kind of, at least that's what I did. That's how I kind of segmented what I wanted to put in my audition video and what I wanted to put in my form. So like for my audition video, at least with my mindset, it was more of approaching like, yeah, like what skills I can showcase that I can't just, speak of in form. Like, it's kind of like talking the talk, as well as maximizing my personality. Because, there's only so much you can do to showcase your personality on just a form. Like, you can say you're a happy person, and then when people actually watch you, they'll be like, yeah, I'm Ryzar Blazenfang. Like Dinoboi, I guess, from first stage production. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like really show yourself off, and whatever extra you feel like you want to highlight, you can always do it in the form. Don't feel like you have to cram everything in your audition video. Just like figure out what really makes you shine, put that in the audition video, and then you can like throw in the rest in your form. And I mean, if you make it to, if you make it far in the process, I guess that's kind of the great thing as well with auditioning for FSPEN. They're very transparent with the steps of the audition. And it was definitely the case for when we auditioned in Gen 2. The steps that they mentioned, like from submitting your audition form to the first interview, to the test stream, to the second interview, it fully followed that structure to the T. Like there wasn't any deviation from that. So yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. So yeah, make as strong as an impression as possible. and in your audition video, and just kind of fill things up in the form, whatever additional highlights you can add, like if you have any additional achievements. And I think another thing, by the way, is I know that you're applying to become a VTuber, but don't take for granted other skills from other things you might have done in life that could kind of carry over to becoming a VTuber. Oh, also, by the way, if you guys have any questions, I will do a little bit of a Q&A after. I temporarily opened my Marshmallow, so you can throw your questions there. Just so that I have it on record and it's easy to scroll through. And then I'm going to go through some of those questions later. So yeah, just so that I don't miss out on your questions. For the Marshmallow, you can find it in the pinned message. So yeah. What was I talking about? Goldfish memory. What was I talking about? Oh no! Goldfish memory. Work with me. Hello, Ryzar. Man, I swear my memory's so bad. Also, wait, let me sneeze real quick. Okay. Yes, skills. Yes, thank you. Yes, skills. Don't underestimate skills you might have learned that isn't necessarily VTubing. Yeah, IRL to VTubing things, because you'd be surprised by how, I don't know, like if you did theater club as a kid, or you did dance classes before, that, or I don't know, you were in Glee Club for the entirety of your high school life. Heck, something as simple as, I know this is like really weird, like even something like customer service, believe it or not, at least in my opinion, so even something in customer service might prove to be helpful. Like especially if you deal with irate customers, then heck, that means you're prepared to deal with, and like whatever is thrown at you from viewers or an audience, you know what I mean? So yeah, don't sell yourself short, because I'm not saying to go into like crazy depth with it, and heck, you don't even necessarily have to like fully tackle that in your form, right? You know what I mean? But it's something to keep in mind. I'd say it's something to keep in mind. Like, don't sell yourself short with what other things you've done in life, especially if it somehow relates to, being able to become a VTuber. Because at least for me, like I've done a lot of things in life, and from what I'm doing now, what I'm experiencing now, I'm very surprised by how a lot of those skills from previous stuff that I've done in my prehistoric life somehow managed to help me as a VTuber. And those skills don't even necessarily have to translate to what you're doing on screen. Sometimes it could help mentioning it through off screen as well, because remember, you guys are joining a company, and since you're joining a company, doing stuff as a VTuber on screen is just one part of what you'll be expected to do when you join first stage production. There are other things that you're going to need to take into account, like you're still going to be dealing with managers, for example. Like there will be meetings, and aside from the whole work aspect, there's also other things to take note of, like you could be the most creative person in the world. You could have the best ideas. You could be one of the most phenomenal communicators out there. Like you could be the funniest guy, but if you don't have, if you feel like you're not stable enough to deal with the responsibility of a job in a corporation, or mayhaps Let's see. Or perhaps you're, maybe emotionally, like you have trouble dealing with certain stuff, then so yeah, that's something worth noting as well. And I think those are skills that might not directly be relative to the streaming aspect of VTubing, but if you feel like it's a skill that could somewhat help you with becoming a well-rounded VTuber, then why not? That's why we say when you're approaching this audition, when everybody approaches this audition, it's going to be unique for each and every person. Each of us are coming in with different skills, different things that we bring to the table that might be different from each applicant. And it's all about trying to figure out like what skills you currently have in your wheelbarrow that you can kind of bring up to make an impression, make a good impression with the people that'll be looking at your, not only your audition, but hearing you out in your interviews, checking out your stream test, and so on and so forth. All right. Yeah, for the audition tape, if you're still having trouble trying to figure out what you're good at, you can do this. Now, in my geriatric prehistoric era of being a dinosaur in 2025, I am the type of guy that likes to keep a notebook. Sometimes I need the visual, not just the visual aid, but sometimes I also need the feel of writing down stuff in order for me to kind of manage my thoughts and keep up with, just to keep my brain organized, I guess. So what you can do is, if you're, if this works for you, then, again, feel free to tackle it how you want. But what kind of worked for me as well was, and I think Zanny might have talked about this as well, is kind of create a list of stuff, like what your skills are, what you're good at. You know what, maybe, again, like singing, dancing, whatever. And once you've listed all of that down, you can kind of pinpoint like, okay, what skills do I think I can feature that are most relevant to the job that I am entering? In this case, it's VTubing. So, pinpoint those things. So in my case, it was a notebook. I actually still have that notebook. I still have the notebook that I used to prepare for my auditions. Not just the audition video. So like I had notes for like what I wanted to do for my audition video. I had a structure for it. Like, yeah, okay, this is where I do say this, do this. And it helped immensely. I think it helped immensely because I think when you're doing this, especially when you have no idea with what you're going to do, trying to find structure, trying to find what you want to hone in on will help you immensely, just so that you have a sense of direction. Otherwise, you might get a bit overwhelmed. You might feel a bit scattered. Like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I just, like, like, I'm just going to throw this and this and this and this in. Having some kind of structure helps. And at least once you have that structure, you can start kind of working. And the great thing about this is you don't have to be too rigid about it either. Just because you have that structure means you're going to stick on it. That's the beauty of this whole process. You can be flexible with it. And just like with anything in life, anything you tackle, you can learn along the way. You can adjust along the way. Let's say you have your plan ready, you have your structure ready for your audition video. along the way decide, you know what, maybe this isn't the best thing to add to my audition video after recording it, and maybe this would work instead, or maybe I should just cut this out entirely and what I've already prepared is completely fine, and that's okay. I dropped my pencil. See, even right now I have like notes just to keep me on track with what we've been talking about so far. So yeah, that definitely helps. And I don't know, in my case, since I like to note down stuff, it really helped me with the planning process, and it really helped me hone in. And unless you have like an immensely good memory where you're able to just plan in your mind on the fly, then that's great. But yeah, in my case, I need structure. I need to like visualize. I need to see what I'm doing. And yeah, that absolutely helped. Yes, and make sure to highlight. Again, audition video, you have a certain amount of minutes. Focus on the good, all right? Focus on the good. Now, I know they're so exists in comedy where you kind of play around with your flaws. You know what I mean? Like what your shortcomings are. I don't think that's a good time to do that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe later on, if you're fortunate enough to do the streaming part where you can make an absolute fool of yourself for the memes, and sure. But in this case, since you're making the first impression, you know, it's probably not the best time to be, you know, to make a fool of yourself for the memes or be absolutely sarcastic, unless you're really good at portraying that in a way where people will get that you're, you know, just focus on making a good impression, guys. Again, unless you feel like it really helps portray your personality and your comedy as a person, just, you know, just again, this is like something that you and only you are able to kind of figure out and determine. The reason why I say this is, you know, sometimes we think we're doing something, but in the eyes of other people, it's like, ugh, you know. So just I guess be careful with that, because you're trying to make a good impression. You don't want to turn the people watching your video off right off the bat, you know. Yeah, it's for you to figure out. Okay. Let's see. Now, with all said and done, you're interested in auditioning for first stage production EN. What if I'm not a VTuber? Or perhaps, you know, maybe your experience going into this is, you know, because let's be real, VTubing is expensive, man. VTubing is expensive as heck. What if I've only been using a PNG? Or what if my experience as a streamer isn't even, you know, maybe I was an IRL streamer this whole time. I was actually using a webcam because I'm one heck of a good looking dude, and I decided that I want to become an anime boy on the internet because of this or that. Real talk, when the idea of joining FSP came to the table, to this day, I can honestly say to this day, my knowledge of VTuber, believe it or not, I shit you not, my knowledge of the whole VTubing fandom, like idols and stuff like that, is still extremely limited. Like, if you ask me about who the top VTubers are, like who has been dominating the scene, I'll probably not be able to give you as many. Yeah. You know, again, geriatric Dinoboi here. So yeah, I'd say I have very limited knowledge when it comes to VTubing. I think this somewhat relates to what I was talking about earlier. Does experience with streaming help? Absolutely. Because again, it's the job you're applying for. Do you necessarily have to have streaming experience Do you need experience of being a VTuber? Do you need experience of being some kind of idol to make it into this? Not necessarily. I'd say that, again, it was like we were, sorry. It was like what we were kind of talking about earlier with how there are certain skills in life that you might not realize could carry over to actually working as a, working well as a VTuber. Like, I don't know, maybe you were maybe you were like a really good singer, and want to kind of dabble into suddenly becoming a VTuber, then it could be. If you, it just really comes down to how you sell yourself, guys. And that's why I say that there's a certain confidence, there should be like a certain belief in yourself when you go into this. Because if you believe, you think you can join FSP, if you think and believe that you can become a successful VTuber with this company, then the sky's the limit. Of course, that it'll ultimately be up to the people looking at the auditions to decide, but I think that's just something good to note. I think a lot of the skills that helped me get into first stage production, Ian, wasn't necessarily even just relative to, just knowing some VTuber stuff. I think a lot of the skill going into this came from things not even related to VTubing. I strongly believe that. So don't be too discouraged. And it's like how we mentioned during the Ravanis stream. If you don't have experience as a VTuber, if you've never had experience going live on OBS, you still can. You have plenty of time, just to figure stuff out. So that at least going into auditions, you can, of course, you'll have to be, you of course be honest about, you can just be honest and say like, yeah, like in preparation, I've kind of dabbled into OBS, trying to go live on OBS and stuff like that. That kind of counts. It's limited experience, but at least it shows a willingness to kind of understand what you're getting into, right? So yeah. I hope that kind of answers people's questions about when it comes to experience. Because I know there might be some of you that are actually VTubers, but you might, I don't know, maybe you're a young baby VTuber in terms of like, how long you've been streaming, or even like with streaming in general, or maybe your concern is like, I'm a small one, like I'm a small VTuber. Honestly, I think that's one of the great things about first stage production, Ian. Like your size, your already existing, I don't know, star power, I guess, in whatever field you're in, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters as a plus, but everybody gets a fair shot at this, okay? I can honestly say, and one of the things I love about the people that did the audition is it's really a fair shot for everybody. Like they actually take time to look at, the auditions that come in. Everybody gets a fair shot. But again, it's up to you to make that really strong impression that'll convince them. Again, it's like, it's kind of like sales talk. It's like convincing them that from the get-go, from the audition, that you're someone that's worth looking at. You are someone that's worth considering. And it's your job, it's your responsibility to make them believe that through what you create. Otherwise, if you can't, then, how are you gonna make an impression once you debut if you can't even make an impression right from the get-go in your auditions, right? So, yeah. You can do it! You can do it! So, hope that helps. Experience absolutely helps, but it's not a hard requirement, as you know, when it comes to streaming at least. If you're a truly talented individual, even with extremely minimal streaming experience, then, and if the Dark Overlords think that, you know what, this guy is worth giving a shot, then heck yeah. Exactly. All right. So, before we talk about, I know that it's only audition phase, but I will talk a little bit about, I'm not going to go into specifics, obviously, of like what goes down in interviews, but I'm going to be talking about it more from a general sense. At least, like, almost like, you know, job interview 101, VTuber edition, I guess. Let me just sneeze real quick as well, because allergies are kicking up. Okay. All right. So we're gonna try to answer some questions relative to either auditioning, the audition video, the form. Oh, wait. So some of you might have heard this from the Ravanis audition advice stream. As some of you might have heard, I sent a PDF. I sent a PDF. Yeah, it's true. I did indeed send the PDF file to as part of my form, but it wasn't, for the record, it wasn't like a job resume, okay? I didn't like include a PDF that literally just had like, you know, my full legal name, Ryzar, I don't know, Rosario Batong Bakal, I don't know, Rosario Blazong Bakal, no. Ryzario Blazong Bakal, 70 million years of age, from the Pacific Ocean, found in the Pacific Ocean, you know, graduated from Flintstones University of Arts and I don't know. So, but no, I, you know, again, like whatever you feel can help supplement your audition to convince the Dark Overlords that you have the skills, you have, you know, you possess certain traits that would work for having you on board as a member of Gen 3, then, you know, heck at it. Ryzario Blatong, yung akin may bla. Kasi Blazenfang, Blatong Bakal. I don't know, we'll see. All right, but yeah. Okay. Now, let me check out some of these questions on Marshmallow. And if there's any questions in... yeah, I'll go through some of the questions on Marshmallow, and then if there's any other questions that you guys might have that I didn't read from the Marshmallow, that might not have been covered from the Marshmallow questions, then yeah, feel free to ask. Okay! Let me look at some of these questions. Let me see which questions might be relative to, you know, generally speaking, or the first phase, which is sending in your application. Let us see. Oh, here's an interesting question. So this is more general. What kind of VTubers FSP exactly looking for this time? You know, my honest, at least my personal, I honestly, I don't know. The straight up answer is I don't know what the Dark Overlords are looking for this time around for Gen 3, aside from, you know, the very basic information and requirements to apply. What I will say though is that going into the auditions, sometimes it's not necessarily about trying to, I mean, that's part of it, obviously, like, because you guys have all, that's kind of the nice thing about applying for FSPEN, right? They already give you a rough sketch of the characters, and they kind of present you with some adjectives as a base. Although, from what you guys might have seen, that's not always going to be the case. Like, you don't necessarily have to fit what the adjectives are. What I will say to, again, this question, what kind of VTubers FSP exactly looking for this time? A great mindset to have is not just trying to fit what you think they want, but go into this making them want you, if that makes sense. Because if you're like really good, they will find a way to like integrate you, you know, inspire them enough that, you know, they'd like move mountains to make you part of Gen 3 if possible. Let's see other questions we have. Yeah, exactly. Nix tried to, you know, Nix was applying to become yeah, Nix was trying to apply for my role, but he ended up as the cyborg, and I'd say Nix is one of the most loved people in FSPEN. He's such a hard worker, and you know, he definitely possessed so much potential and skill and charisma to have made it to the position that he's in right now, in my opinion. All right. Okay, this question I'll probably save for later. Okay, this one I kind of answered already. When joining an agency, is it good to have at least some experience in VTubing or live streaming in general? It's absolutely a plus. And, you know, if I were one of the people looking at auditions, it definitely brings comfort knowing that you have some sizable amount of experience with streaming. But if you have other skills that really make you shine, that even with minimal experience in streaming, then, you know, sometimes those things that make you special, that sounds like pep talk or something, what I just said, then, you know, it's something I think that they'll look at regardless. They'll still look at you regardless, even with like minimal streaming experience. Okay. I don't know if this has been mentioned on Lim's stream, but when we send in our audition clip, do we need to record with our own model, or could we use our faces? Without being specific, I'll answer it this way. I use neither for my audition video. Let's just say that. Believe it or not, I use neither for my audition video. I didn't use a VTuber model. I didn't show my face. I'm not going to say what was in it as a result, but I can at least reveal that. So, I use neither. Yeah. See? Sorry, like if I like if I go silent for like a bit, it means like I'm either coughing or sneezing. Paper dolls? not quite. Okay. Let's see. Anything other related to the first part? How do I make sure that I stand out among the other applicants? Okay, this was probably a question I was gonna save for later, but you know what? Since I already read it, I'll answer it now. I don't know. So I know this is such a weird thing to say, but you know, a little bit of soul searching, a little bit of self-discovery, like figure out what traits make you shine. Like what makes, you know, maybe you can even ask your friends, like, what traits do you think make me likable? And capitalize on those traits, methinks. That's what I would do, at least. You know, I'm speaking from like my own, like how would I tackle it if I were like auditioning again. I'm not saying it's necessarily the formula to, you know, try to impress, but that's what I would have done. Like, that's what I did too. Like I did a little bit of soul searching. Well, not soul searching, but you know, I kind of like tried to nitpick like what traits would be great, what I could highlight. And in my case, it was my stupidity. I'm just kidding. Nah. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh man, I had an answer for this, but I forgot what I was gonna say. The question is, what is something you think a lot of people might miss with the auditions? Okay, okay, you know what? What is something you think a lot of people might miss with the auditions? Not necessarily miss. Well, you know what? Maybe in a way, yes. What is something you think a lot of people, in my case, I'll answer this in the sense of something that I think people miss the point of going into these auditions. Now, unless you're some kind of godly role player, I don't know, like some kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, where you can portray, if you feel like you can portray a completely different character for years straight, then by all means be someone else going into the audition. But realistically speaking, I think what people kind of miss the point of going into these auditions is thinking that they need to portray themselves a certain way going into this. And I'm not necessarily talking about it from a decorum sense. You know, of course you have to uphold yourself a certain way going into these auditions. You know, you don't want to be like some kind of obnoxious hinge, you know, going in terms of presentation. But I think what people miss the point of going into these auditions is, you know, you want to showcase yourself the most, and you know, like showcase that best version of you, that authentic you. Because if you try to fake it, like if you go into this with the mindset of this is how I think a VTuber should act, like the people screening your audition are gonna sniff that from miles away, and they're gonna know you're faking it. Unless again, like you're like the best actor in the world where you think you can fake it for the next years to come, and I don't know, like maybe you're like, yeah, whatever. But it, like when you suddenly present yourself like hi, my name's Ryzar, like hi everybody, blah, 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 then you know what, be my guest, do that. But yeah, like no, you know, just trust me, like if you just go into it as with much you as possible, not only is it going to be easier for you to tackle these auditions, but you're going to have a much easier time if you actually make it in as well. I mean, there's some aspects of it you can play around with, like like there's like some aspects of your personality you can play around with, but at the end of the day, you're just gonna have a better time if you present like you know. And just, you know, make, again, like it just goes back to like figuring out what parts of your personality shine and capitalizing on those. All right. Okay, this one was kind of like asking like I'm not a necessarily content creator, but I've streamed before and can I still audition? Yeah. Again, just like try to figure out what you feel like you can sell that you can showcase proves you are able to transition into the life as a VTuber. Because that's absolutely worked for me. Figuring out what skills in what I've been doing in my prehistoric life as a dinosaur that carried over to becoming a dino idol. Okay, ooh, this was an interesting one. I like this question. Man, sorry, I'm like really going through it right now. But you know, I really want to make sure we did this stream today, so let's do it. Let's see. Oh, also for any Ryzupas, Ryzonos, and memberships, I'll be reading them at the end of the stream. So don't worry, Cupcake, I see you guys, and thank you to everyone that has sent some stuff, and I appreciate you guys. Okay. Okay, question is, how much should I lean into the character personality stated on the forum versus my own personality? And if my own personality and the given one on the forum are pretty similar, to what extent should I exaggerate it even more? I personally say just focus on shining with your own personality. Then I guess it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, like tackle it more from the perspective of showing the best version of yourself as opposed to what you think a VTuber should be. Because, you know, this is going to be you as a VTuber for the rest of your time with FSPEN. If you are fortunate enough to make it in. And there's only so much you can do trying to curate your whole character based on something you're not, right? And you just have you just have like a way easier time focusing on showcasing your own personality and what makes it great. So as far as the second part of your question, and if my own personality and the given one on the forum are pretty similar, to what extent should I exaggerate even more? That's up to you. That is absolutely up to you. There's no real gauge for it, I would say. It really just comes down to like what your plan is going into these auditions. Like, do you want to try to play up a certain trait even more as a form of, like, for whatever reason, like maybe it's like a content decision, maybe it's maybe it's a comedic choice or something. It really comes, it's really up to you. Because like I feel like it would be very different for each character and like what the game plan is on how you would tackle the character. Let's see. I kind of answered this question earlier through what I was already speaking of, but I'll read the question again anyway, in case the person who sent this question might have come in later. How would you know if your audition went well? I guess the straightforward thing to this is like if they contact you for the next step, then I guess you kind of know it went well. I know that's like, I wish there was like some other answer I could give for this, but that's only the real gauge you'll be able to get as part of being in the audition process. Oh man, my nose is so stuffy right now. If I sound weird, like, yeah, that's the reason. How did you make that first jump? Okay. Okay, I'm assuming like how did you make that first jump as far as the audition? Yeah, I think what I discussed earlier is like good coverage as far as approach. I'm having a hard time recording a video due to nervousness, not figuring out my skill, and honestly never tried streaming whatsoever. Any way to ease the nervousness and bravely take that first step? Yeah, I think like figuring yourself out helps a lot, and knowing what your skills are, what you're going to be able to bring to the table to shine. Nervousness, honestly, it'll never go away. I was nervous throughout the audition. I know I was like telling you guys I was hyping myself, but I was also hella nervous. You can be both at the same time, man. But yeah, I think at least a way to ease it is just like figuring yourself out and being confident in your choice. Oh my god, that's such a generic thing to say. But yeah, honestly, that's just the fact of the matter. Is it true you did a PDF resume for your audition? I did send a PDF, but it wasn't necessarily a resume. It definitely was not a resume, I will say that. But there was stuff I put in there that, yeah, that I felt was pertinent to bring up. Again, it's like just simply showcasing yourself and yeah. Making yourself try to shine as much as possible and convincing them that you're the right choice with what experience you have or what skills you have. Ooh, do you think someone who is introvert and don't have any streaming experience can join? I already talked about the streaming part. Now, do you think someone who is introverted can join? Now that one, absolutely. I'm gonna mention this real quick. Some of the top entertainers in the industry, heck, even celebrities. There are celebrities who are phenomenal actors, but are some of the most introverted people on the planet. And I'm pretty sure some of you might seen this. Like, you know, there's like some celebrities that just prefer not talking to fans and keep to themselves. Absolutely. I think at the end of the day, it's what you know, when you come on stream and if you're entertaining, then you know it'll be fine. I'm somewhat of an introvert myself at times. Like, I like just chilling. You know, in my prehistoric age, I don't really you know, I just kind of like keeping to myself. So yeah. Interesting, because I wouldn't have thought of sending a whole PDF for auditioning this sort of role. Yeah, I think it just really comes down to, like, you know, just don't send a PDF for the sake of it as well. You know, just because I hear that, oh, Ryzar sent a PDF, so I can send a PDF as well. There was definitely a purpose, you know. The PDF I sent was supplementary to my audition, I think. Yeah. So yeah, even if you're introverted, that's totally fine. At the end of the day, it's like, if you're able to deliver when you do stream, then regardless. Okay, there you go. Someone asked, how long did it take for you to prepare for your audition? Do you think less is more works better in terms of the video phase of the audition? How long did it take for you to prepare for your audition? Well, as I mentioned earlier, I ended up wanting to send my audition as soon as possible, but again, I just want to stress that it doesn't matter if you submit early or late. This was just completely a mindset thing on my end. But yeah, I ended up submitting 5 days after applications opened. I will say this though. So again, this is important, all right? Hear me out, guys. How long did it take for you to prepare for your audition? Now, it took me 5 days to work on the form and video, but I feel that the preparation for your audition, in my case at least, my preparation for my audition began years ago. Look at it this way. a decade ago-ish, VTubing wasn't even a thing. Like, nobody was preparing to become a VTuber 10 years ago. And little did I know that the things I was doing growing up into the big-ass Dinoboi that I am now would result to translating into skills that would make a decent VTuber. It's like, it's one of my favorite things to quote. I learned this from Catriona Gray, but there was like another person that actually said this, but it's something like he quoted from like another person. Preparation plus opportunity equals success. This is a this singular quote alone changed my perspective on a lot of things. Now, the preparation for your audition is your entire existence in life. The skills you've acquired, like, I don't know, whether it be as like through the clubs you joined in extracurricular, through whatever odd jobs you picked up, through the hobbies that you've engaged in and indulged in. Believe it or not, to some extent, that's preparation. Or maybe you've actually like dived into like, you know, wanting to become a better singer, wanting to become a better dancer, wanting to become a better actor, wanting to, I don't know, even with like building up towards becoming an influencer even. Like those things, even if you didn't know at the time you would be interested in becoming a VTuber, that is preparation right there. The opportunity for the equation, preparation plus opportunity equals success. The opportunity is right now. The opportunity is your application into first stage production EN. Now, if your buildup of preparation in life happens to match or even surpass what is needed for the opportunity, then that could potentially equate to success. That success being that message that you'll get saying, welcome to first stage production EN. So that's why I was emphasizing how important it is to realize that your skills, what you're bringing to the table for your audition, didn't necessarily just start from when you decided to apply. No, it started many years ago as you were going through life. It just all comes down to realizing and pinpointing what parts of preparation, what skills, what things you've engaged in your life are relevant and important and substantial towards becoming a VTuber for FSPEN. And this advice, I feel, doesn't even just necessarily apply to VTubing. This applies to a lot of things in life, whatever, regardless of what path you're pursuing. It just really comes down to those fine details of what exact preparation you've done in your life to match the opportunity at hand. So, yeah. One of my favorite quotes ever. And I think that was a quote that really helped keep my head in the game leading up to becoming one heck of a Dinoboi of first stage production EN second generation Ravanis. Because I didn't know I wanted to become a VTuber. I just was, you know, doing things I was passionate about. Things that I enjoyed, building up on skills that I felt were skills that I had a knack for and wanted to improve on. So, yeah. Like, for all I know, I could be the most redundant giving advice to similar to the other boys, but if there's one thing I want to be the takeaway from my own audition stream right now, from my audition advice stream, is exactly that. I made it here because of the skills I managed to develop along the way, not realizing that it would amount to becoming a VTuber. So don't feel bad if you're going into this not necessarily having the experience or the know-how of the VTubing industry, because you'll never know what skills you have that would carry over to actually becoming successful as a VTuber. Don't sell yourself short. Never sell yourself short. Just takes a lot of self-reflection and self-discovery and knowing yourself and what you possess as a person. That could, yeah, that sounds like hopecore shit right there. But yeah. Amen. All right. Hope that helped. You can forget everything else. Remember that. And hopefully that also builds confidence in yourself, knowing that, you know, like, hey, you know what? I have kind of built up certain skills over the years. What is your main focus of being a VTuber? What do you mean? What, can you be more, can you expound on that question a bit more? Unless like by you mean like what my area of expertise is, or like what my focus is? Maybe you're asking because of, maybe you're asking it from the perspective of like, am I focused on singing? Am I focused on comedy? Am I focused on like being a meme lord? Honestly, I think it's multiple things. Like there's a lot of things I see myself doing as a VTuber. I wouldn't necessarily say the jack of all trades, but the jack of a good chunk of trades that I'm doing as a VTuber. Oh my god, my nose is so stuffed. What the heck? One sec. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I'd say variety and being stupid. Or I don't know, like I don't know, not being afraid to be silly, I guess, is I don't know if that answers your question, but I guess for me that's what it is. So, yeah. Okay, wait. I guess since I'm seeing a lot of this question and somebody asked in chat, I'll answer it right away. Humor in a manner of speaking. Self-deprecating. I don't know. Like, I guess also not necessarily a hope core, but you know, I guess also just like letting my genuine goodness shine through. Wow, that's so cheesy. I don't know, but I do think that's like been part of the reason why I have some of my Ryzars. Just like, I don't know, letting my sweet boy side shine, which is like authentically a part of me. Like, yeah, it's just authentically me, genuinely. So yeah, I guess I'm doing something right in that regard. Okay, yes, to answer the question, like some of you, whether it be like you identify as female, you identify a certain way, can I audition for FSPEN? So we answered this during the Ravanis thing, but since it's like you know, it's a common question we get and understandable. Like if you identify a certain way or were born a certain way, can I apply for FSPEN? Ultimately it just comes down to remember that you're auditioning for Gen 3 and you're essentially auditioning for male roles. So if you're confident, if you feel like you're confident enough, if you feel like you're capable of fulfilling those roles, then by all means, like shoot your shot. Just keep that in mind. Now, for those asking about female, like, is there gonna be like a female wave one day? Honestly, I'm not a dark overlord, so I wouldn't know at all. All I can say right now is it's all male. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 incoming. So if you are interested though, if you are interested in making it as a corpo VTuber and you kind of want to be under the same umbrella, then there's Speciality. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I swear I've said so many different iterations of that name in like different, so I hope I'm saying it right this time around. So yeah, it's like kind of under the same umbrella, which focuses on female VTubers. So if you're keen on becoming like you know, auditioning for a female role, then you have Speciality. But for FSPEN, mostly male roles for now. And if you want to become part of FSPEN, then just keep that in mind. It is male roles that we're looking towards right now for Gen 3. And regardless, whoever makes it in, I look forward to, you know, working with. You know, I'm always excited to meet different people from different walks of life personally. So, you know, it's what makes things exciting, and you learn. I don't know, I'm a person that likes to learn more about the world. So, yeah. I love meeting different people. So yeah, hopefully that answers everyone's question. Yeah. Would you like to have a Pipino little brother in the new gen? I'm the only Filipino that's allowed in this. I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah, why? Like, again, if you're qualified, regardless of your nationality, identity, then shoot your shot. And if the Dark Overlords think you're perfect, then go for it. I'm open, honestly, like personally, like since I'm not a Dark Overlord, like I can't really decide who gets into FSPEN, but what I can say on behalf of myself is I look forward to working with anyone and everyone. As long as you're not a freaking asshole, then by all means, welcome to FSPEN. Because that's another thing, you know, you're gonna be you're going into this with not only 4 gen mates, but 10 people that came prior from Gen 1 and Gen 2. So, you gotta at least get along with the people you're working with, right? All right. Sorry. Let me scroll through these questions real quick. I'll probably answer one more and then go for it. See, Altus agrees. Hey, Altus. Mwah. I was watching a bit of Altus' stream yesterday while I was getting my nails done. not like I didn't get like, just maintenance, cleaning, really. Nothing like, crazy. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if there's like, sorry, because I want to talk about interviews a bit as well as this. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Let me just read this. Hi, Ryzar. Got a question about an audition. Let's say I do have experience streaming, but most of my streams are like 80% of them are my native language, not in English, have to clarify. Will that be alright to submit for an audition? I have no trouble communicating English for hours, but I'm just wondering if that would be helpful, considering that Manasans won't be able to say something like, oh, this person is entertaining right away, because they wouldn't understand what the hell am I even saying there. Hope it makes sense. Thank you. Oh yeah, absolutely. It does make sense. I gave like 2 minutes of advice the whole stream. Yeah, from what I heard, like you were mostly you were like, yeah, like you were chit-chatting with the adventurers for the most part. And that's fine. But yeah, sorry, this question. You know what's funny? Wait, before I answer this question, you know what I realized is because I've noticed that I've already mentioned this before, like I was a communications arts. Well, not anymore, obviously, after saying that. But I was a communication arts gold medalist in the past. I competed in like speech competitions, but I've noticed recently it doesn't feel like that when I speak English. And you know why? It's this weird thing where, I don't know like how this was even possible, but even if I'm not the most fluent, I feel like I speak smoother Filipino than English these days. It's something like, crazily enough, I feel like I speak smoother Filipino than English these days. And it's because I wasn't able to speak much English over the past years prior to getting in. A few years back, there was like a good chunk where I was stuck speaking a lot of Filipino, I guess. Anyways, I just wanted to share that from this. So like, I don't know, for the at least for like, you know, for those that have English as a second language, I just wanted to share that in case any of you had any doubts as far as like, what if, and you know, we have people like Cass as well. So I don't know. I just wanted to mention that for Lol Sweats wonder what happened. You know what happened, Kai. You know exactly what happened. I see you. You're like a prime adventurer. You know what happened. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick. For those that might be wondering, what if like English isn't like my super primary, like, why am I getting blasted? Look. You said it. I'm just simply going off of what was in chat. Yeah, they always bully. Okay, that I'm not sure if I can agree with, but I love you nonetheless, Altus. You know I love you, man. Mwah. And if you need proof, then I'll see you later. Then I will prove it in more ways than one. But no, sorry, going back to the question before I completely dive into another topic entirely. Yes, that's absolutely fine. You mentioned that you mostly did streams in your native language. That could easily be rectified through, you know, just focusing on doing English in your audition video and in your forms. Because like at the end of the day, like we can just say that even if you were doing it in a different language, that still counts as streaming experience. So like through your audition, I think the thing you'll need to prove mostly is, you know, aside from like why you need, you know, what skills you have, like what makes you a great VTuber, is like effectively showcasing that you're able to stream as an English VTuber, if that makes sense. Because, you know, you're entering first stage production ED, right? And primarily we cater to an English audience. So yeah, I think that's going to be like your challenge in a way. Not necessarily challenge, but that's going to be like one of the things you'll need to take note of going into these auditions, that you're able to effectively entertain in English. But yeah, still, regardless, even if you streamed in a different language, I wouldn't even say that's still an asset. Yeah, don't like, I don't want you to think that, oh, just because I didn't stream in English, you know, that it's more of a detriment than an asset. It's still definitely an asset. It just comes down to proving yourself being as effective being a VTuber and entertaining in English. Hope that answers your question. Thank you for the question. All right, let me do one last check. All right, I'll start looking at questions again after talking about interviews. Honestly, I probably won't take that long talking about interviews, because a lot of what I feel like I discussed in the audition part carries over to interview. Okay, so let's say, you know, you applied, did your video, filled up the form. Weeks later, you get an email that, hey, congratulations, you're moving on. I mean, that's not literally the email. I can't even remember what was on the email anymore, but essentially, like, you make it to the next round, which is interviews. Holy shit, I managed to convince the Dark Overlords. I managed to sneak my way into the next stage. Now, how do I sneak my way through this round to make it to the stream test? Yes, interviews. So here's the thing, Cupcake. Going into interviews, remember, right off the bat, like any other job interview, essentially, you're not going to want, if you're a meme lord, you don't want to go into the job interview being, I don't know, a meme lord. You know, this is the one time you're going to want to take this a little bit more. I'm not saying you have to be serious. Like, I still encourage, like, if you have like a lovely personality, like if you're a person that can, not even if you're a person, like ideally have that balance between, you know, being professional while also showing a little bit of that personality you have. So yes, interviews. Essentially, you want to present yourself well, you know. The audition video and the form is just one step. Now that, if anything, I'm going to be real with you guys. If there was one thing, because the thing I was most nervous for actually going into the auditions was the stream test. Because, you know, stream test is like very on the fly and you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen during the stream test, like what the setup is. Like you have no idea how it's going to go. And like we mentioned during the Ravanis advice video, we're not allowed to talk about like what the circumstances are of the stream test. Like how long is it going to be? Like is there like chat? Like what's going to go on, right? Expect the unexpected. Like that was the part I was worried about. Now, the part I was actually most confident in is the interviews. Because I feel like in my case, one of the things I'm confident in, like I know I'm like silly Dinoboi, but when it comes to interviews, like when it comes to being serious as well, you know, when it comes to moments where I need to be serious, where I need to be professional, trust and believe this Dinoboi can deliver. So yeah, a little more formal indeed. Like I feel like that's one of my strong suits. That's where the communications art. Why do I keep on saying it wrong? That's where the communication arts gold medalist award comes in my opinion, for me at least. I think I do really well in interviews. Not necessarily because I'm like, I don't know. I guess it's just more of I know how to articulate myself in a more formal setting, and I don't know. I have like, yeah. I don't know. I'm just like comfortable in interviews, period. Of course, I was nervous going into it. I'm not saying like I was mega confident. Like, you know, there was definitely some nerves going into it because, you know, there's still things that could. Oh my God. Wait, I don't know if the Dark Overlords remember. Okay, wait, quick. Oh my God. Quick story, by the way, Cupcake. Did you? Okay, I said I'm like really confident when it comes to interviews, right? There was a moment during the interview and from the very beginning where I thought I fucked up. Sorry for cursing. Like there was, especially during the first interview. It was it was the very I thought honestly there were like two things. Again, I guess looking back, it's more of since, you know, it's something I really wanted. Like I wanted to get into FSPEM so badly, right? Since it's something I really wanted, like any error I made, I felt like would like bomb my chances of getting in. So I can't remember if the Dark Overlords remember this or if they even noticed. Like I noticed right off the bat. So when I started my interview, you know, because like, yeah, it was, you know, it was going nicely. When I swear, when I realized this, my heart dropped, and I'm like, oh shit, I screwed up my interview. It's over. You know what happened? So when I was doing the interview, I was talking about, you know, I was mentioning the company, but like for like maybe 3 to 5 times at most, I was saying FPS instead of FSP. Like I'm like, oh my god. I believe I would like during the first, I was saying like FPS instead of FSP. And because like, you know, because I wasn't used to saying FSP, the acronym, yet. If anything, because of being, you know, because of gaming, I was like more, you know, it's like that muscle reflex of the tongue. I don't even know if that's the thing or how you word it, but I was saying FPS, you know, because like I was playing Valorant during those days, a bit of Valorant, I used to play Apex a lot. I'm not good at it, by the way. Yeah, I played like all these other shooting games, all these other FPS games. So the moment I realized I was saying FPS, of course, like in my mind, oh shit, like correct it. But in my mind, I shit you not, I thought I screwed up my interview. Cause like, you know, cause like, when you want something really bad, right? You want things to go perfect, and when something goes wrong, like your mind goes into overlord. It's like, oh shit, like I screwed this up, it's over, they're not gonna want me because of this one error that could make or break, you know. So like in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, they probably don't like me anymore because I butchered the name of the company. And like oh my god, dude. I mean, as I went through the interview, I feel like I recovered. I feel like I definitely like had some level of recovery. But oh gee, like, oh geez. Like I was thinking, oh, it's over. They're probably thinking, if this guy can't get our company name right, what more if he gets a sponsorship? What more if he has to work with a certain brand and screws that up? Like that was what I was thinking in that moment. And oh my god, I couldn't stop thinking about it until the email came in that I made it to the next round. Like I was legit thinking they were just gonna say no to me after that. Oh, indeed, the paranoia, dude. Paranoia on the go. I'm moving silent. But you know, I was thinking there was gonna be no going, and yeah, heck yeah, I'm gonna say silent after failing the whole thing just because of that one mess up. So, oh. But yeah, luckily it was mostly an all in my head thing. I don't know if the Dark Overlords remember that, like making that mistake, but yeah, I was saying FPS at the beginning of the interview. So yeah, it was that. And like that first interview, I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly. From what I recall, this also happened during the first interview. It was that, and in true VTuber, you know what? Maybe it was a sign that I truly am meant to be a VTuber, because this was like straight up scuff. The PC froze. The PC I was doing, because I wasn't at home at the time. I was at a friend's place borrowing his PC to do the interview, because I was like somewhere else at the time, traveling ish. And sorry, my nose is getting really stuffed, but I shit you not, 30 minutes into the interview, the PC hangs. And oh my god, you know what made it worse is it started hanging at a part where I was speaking. So there was a moment in the interview where I kept on speaking without realizing that the PC hung already. Like I was just like black, and I think this happened during a question where I had to give a long-ish answer. So I didn't know at what point the PC was hanging. Like I just kept on blabbing and blabbing and blabbing. And I think the reason I also didn't notice it was hanging, because I was focused more on like, because I had like little notes just so that I didn't forget stuff. Yeah, like the PC froze. Sorry, like sorry. I don't know if this was like, I don't know if this is like more of a Filipino-ish way of putting it, but yeah, like it froze like without me realizing. And when I realized it, I was in full panic mode. Like, you know, it's like, oh man, I already screwed up saying the company name, and now like the PC froze, and you know, I didn't like, again, like the anxiety of, oh shit, like, oh, they already know I can't get the name properly, now they're gonna think I'm incompetent, that I can't even get through an interview properly, you know. And I think it took about 10 to 15 minutes for me to get back to them. I'm not sure about the minutes. It could have been way less. Maybe like in my moment of anxiety, I thought it would have been more. But I think that was how long it took me. Because I ended up using my phone, I think, to do the rest of the interview. So, yeah, bruh, dude, pare chong. So yeah. If anything, I think that's probably like unique insight. If scuff happens, don't worry, it's okay. It's they're you know, it's not gonna necessarily hurt your chances, I'd say. Yeah, just stay calm, you know, just if that happens, if you disconnect, like, you know, just calmly, you know, figure out a way to reconnect. If you have to lose like mobile data or something, then it is what it is. So yeah. Wait, I need a, holy shit, my nose is like really stuffy right now. So yeah, I did the rest of the interview through my phone, and yeah, I was like literally thinking, man, double scuff, screw up the company name, make them wait for like 10 to 15 minutes, wondering if I'm even gonna reconnect back to the interview. It's over. But yeah, sorry, I wanted to share that story as, yeah, that, you know, at least that's something I can share about my interview, the scuff of it all. Like I might not be able to talk about specifics, like what questions they ask, but I can at least share that experience. No, but sorry, going back to actual advice about the interview, as I was saying earlier, present your, you know, like, you know, just make sure you're good with how well you come in, and because this is a moment to like really sell yourself. Like, this is the moment where you can get a bit more personal, and you have a little bit more freedom to, you know, speak of yourself. I mean, I know that sounds egotistical, but that's the whole point of, you know, that's the whole goal. You're trying to sell you as a person to this company. So now is not the time to be humble. I mean, I'm not saying don't be a complete ass and turn them off by like being too much of a braggart. You know what I mean? Like, again, like creatively find a way to sell yourself to further convince them that you are the guy for the role, that you are that diamond in the rough. Well, probably not necessarily diamond in the rough, but you know, like you're like that precious gem that they need. You're like the missing piece to complete FSPEN, you know? So yeah. Like, this is your time to shine, essentially. And now, here's the thing, because I know there's a from the VTubers I've met, there might be some of y'all that are actually really good VTubers, but might not be the best in terms of, you know, being in a business environment, and that's okay. That's completely fine. Like, what if you've never even done a job interview before? Like, Ryzar, this is like, you know, like, I've never had to go through like the whole job interview thing before. Like, what do I do? Like I'm gonna go into this having never done it before, having no experience with a job interview. Here's the beauty of the situation. We might not be able to tell you what specific questions they're asking, but just like any other job interview, I'd say you can approach it as exactly that. And look at it as exactly that, like any other job interview. Even, you know, you just have to like kind of custom fit it to selling yourself as a VTuber, but for the most part it will kind of feel like a job interview where you have to convince the employer that you're the right person for this job. Yeah, in a way, like you can, like, literally for this you can probably even look up articles on how to, like, what to do in a job interview. Like, I don't know, look up articles, look up videos online talking about this subject. Hey, it might not necessarily be how to ace a VTuber job interview, but it'll be some form of preparation at least. You know, at least you're not going in empty-handed. At least you're not going in completely blind, not knowing what to expect. Just something as simple as looking that up, doing your research on how to approach a job interview will help immensely. It's some form of preparation. You know, there's some level of confidence you can get from something as simple as that type of preparation. And remember what I said earlier? Preparation plus opportunity equals success. Now, some of you might think of wanting to just try to wing this job interview because, you know, you might be thinking that, you know, Ryzar, earlier you said that we should be going into this with, you know, just being ourselves, our personality. Then that should be fine, right? The thing is, not even just with job interviews, but with anything in life, stage performance or like a job, any preparation is better than none. And in the moment, you know, again, nerves could kick in. Nervousness is natural. Nervousness is nine. It's very, very real. And you know, whatever idea of how you're going to do this job interview going into it, whatever that, you know, whatever might have been in your head might just go poof in an instant because of like the nerves suddenly kicking in, or, you know, maybe you just dupe into the interview that you suddenly forget key points you want to bring up. You can prepare. I will say, I'm not sure if the other boys did this or mentioned this. I actually had like little notes. Again, I had like a little notebook, like the notebook the size of a, not like in terms of like its circular structure, but, you know, in terms of like length and width, like the size of a, like a soda can, like just a little small notebook where I had notes, where I had key points. Like no matter what, I have to mention these points in the interview. Like I want to make sure that these are things that I highlight, that I think will really sell them on the idea that I could, you know, make it into the company just fine. But again, this is just more of a personal preference thing. I'm not saying you have to do it, but this is what kind of helped for me. So yeah, it's those little things. Like if you've never done an interview before, look up articles. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of articles out there because a lot of people are job hunting. A lot of people are trying how to figure out how to get the job. To some extent, that'll definitely help. Absolutely. And yeah, if you want to make sure that your interview goes a bit structured, actually, you know what? Honestly, I'd say just straight up do it. Like, figure out what further things you want to highlight in your interview. Because again, with the audition video and the form, there's only so much you can put in, right? So if there are things that you kind of briefly mention in your form or even in your audition video that you feel like would be pertinent to expound on, take note of what those points are. Like maybe you mention that you're a singer, and like you know, maybe you mention in your form that you're a singer with this type of experience in singing. Like maybe, I don't know, you mentioned that you're like an award-winning opera singer in school or something. And you actually, like, I don't know, you include like a sample in your video, but there's maybe more to it. Like you can expound even further. Like, yeah, I was an award-winning amongst like thousands of people, la la la. Like I also did these performances, you know, like really sell yourself. Like be shameless, but don't turn them off either. Like, you know, do it again. Like that's for you to figure out, like how you present yourself. There's no like real cookie cutter proven formula way of doing it. It all comes down to like who you are as a person and how you think you would be able to effectively sell yourself. So yeah, like make yourself shine. So yeah, that's mostly what I would say about the interview part. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that we discuss about audition and the form pretty much carry over to like it's just that it's pretty much that the beauty of the interview is that you get to expound on things further and cover all the bases that you feel like you might not have been able to cover from the first part of this entire thing. Again, like we can't really mention what the questions are, but I feel like already that in itself, that kind of preparation, knowing what to kind of familiarizing yourself with how a typical job interview goes, along with having key points you want to make sure you highlight going into that interview, then yeah, that's already good preparation. Also, if you feel like you need some more preparation for the job interview, look at what typical job interview questions are and practice answering those questions. As much as possible, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, you don't literally have to look in a mirror, but even if you have to just speak to yourself, like, for example, like a typical job interview question would be, why, you know, like, what's like a typical job interview question? Wait, I want to think of a good one. Like how do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Towards becoming head technician of this company or whatever. Then yeah, practice you know, speak to yourself, try practicing how you would answer those typical questions. Even if not all of the typical job interview questions might come up in this particular phase of your application for FSPEN, you know, at least it helps you better prepared. It helps you figure out how you want to articulate yourself. So yeah, again, you know, just that type of preparation goes a long way, chat. If you're good at improv, then great. But, you know, if you have a lot of time anyway, then not bad to cover all your bases, but you know, just do what works for you at the end of the day, I guess. But for those that just want to go that extra mile and kind of figure out what other things you can do, then you know, that's a little bit of, yeah, that's a little bit of stuff. All right, well, once you make it through the interview, like let's say the Dark Overlords say that, you know what, you got a good video, form was pretty decent, articulated well enough, was pleasant talking to them. They seemed very interesting when we finally got to talk to them in the first interview. Congratulations. The Dark Overlords found you interesting enough to get you through to the next phase, which is the streaming test. So for the streaming test, like I said, this is probably gonna be the hardest because this one's a wild card. You don't know what to expect. They'll only let you know the specifics of what you're gonna, you know, at least the base expectations of what to expect going into this. Man, that didn't make sense, or maybe that was redundant, but yeah. Like, there's only, because like, you don't know, you don't know how long you're gonna be streaming, like what the whole setup is gonna be, where you're streaming, and so on and so forth. The best you can do is like try to, you know, kind of start thinking about like what you would even do in a stream test. Like if you're streaming, what would you even do in the first place? So I think this is something that a lot of the boys have said. Like, you've talked big game to the Dark Overlords in your form, in your audition video, in your first interview. Now it's time to put that to the test. Now is the time to put that to the test, ladies and gents. And Ryzar, I'm nervous. I'm like really nervous going into this. I can feel myself shaking. That's perfectly natural, man. You're fine. Everybody, I was hella nervous going into mine. Again, this was the one I was like the least, I wouldn't say least confident in, but most nervous about. Yeah, I was like most nervous about because I was pretty much scuff as hell during the first, like I was already worrying about the scuff I encountered during the first interview. Mispronouncing FSP as F, not mispronouncing, but saying, is that even a word? You know, not saying FSP right, saying FPS instead of FSP. And on top of that, like they already know that I had PC problems last time I talked to them. So yeah. So now is the time to prepare for your stream test. So obviously, you need to know how to use OBS at this point. Because how the heck are you going to be streaming if you don't? So I know that we talked about that. You might not necessarily have to have lots of live streaming experience, but you, at the bare minimum, ladies and gents, you at least need to know how to operate a live stream, period. You at least need to know how to get yourself live on whichever platform they ask you to stream on. As FSPEN, we stream on YouTube, so it's at least probably at the bare minimum. You know, you at least need to cover your bases here, guys. Just because you don't have experience doesn't mean that you should have like, you shouldn't have at least some level of preparation, some level of research you should be doing for yourself in order to educate yourself on what you're getting into. And this is the age of the internet. All that information is readily available to you with one Google search. So yeah. If you've covered that, if you've covered knowing how to go live, then congratulations. You've pretty much overcome one of the hurdles for this phase of the application. So again, I couldn't really speak much about like what to expect in the streaming part, but we can at least talk about like what things you can do to prepare yourself. Now, we already talked about how you should already have a rough idea of what skills you shine in. I mean, at the end of the day, this is first stage production after all. Stage should already be a hint as to what you're getting into. You should know how to take the stage, and that stage being the streaming platform you'll be streaming on. That is your stage right there, ladies and gents. And on that stage, it is your responsibility to entertain your audience. So how do you do that? I don't know, start figuring out like, because again, I can't really specify what you need to prepare because you'll find out in the email eventually, but you can at least cover your bases. Like, what would you normally expect from a streamer, right? We can at least talk about that. Like, especially, I don't know, I feel like this is pretty obvious for people that obviously have streaming experience, but the reality is there could be people that are qualified to become a VTuber without as much experience. So at least for the sake of those people, or maybe you just need the refresher, let's cover the basis. What are some of the base things you need if you're going to become a streamer? Obviously, you need to know how to chit chat. You know how to properly talk to your chat, for one. And I'm not saying like proper as in like, hello everybody, like it's a pleasant day, isn't it? I'm so happy to be, no. Unless that's like your whole shtick, your whole personality, and sure, why not? But what I'm trying to get at here is, I'm not saying you have to be like prim and proper, because this is the time, like, the time to be like a little bit more proper and professional is during the interview. Hey, that's me. Mr. Nix Voltaire. Shout out to Mr. Nix. Earlier we had Altus and now we have Mr. Nix. Thanks for dropping by, Mr. Nix. Wait, I need to blow my nose. So this is where you can let the chaos loose a bit. But of course, obviously, since you're applying again, you're applying for a corpo, so you can't just like go crazy. You know, there's still some, what's the word I'm looking for? There are some expectations and standards you have to meet and are expected as a corporate VTuber, ladies and gents. So, you know, don't go too wild. So yeah. But you know, you can, this is like, again, like I was saying earlier, that this is the part where you can kind of meme around if that's your whole thing. Show lots more of your personality. Like, again, just making a good impression. I was about to say make a good impression, but that's already like the thing the whole entire way. Don't slap your 19 inches of venom on the desk to assert dominance. Exactly. You do that after, once you're in the gen with the boys behind closed doors. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway. No. That's the unstreamed, unlive off collab between the boys. Yeah. But yeah. Sorry. Yes, going back. What's things like you can at least prepare, like what is expected of a streamer? You know how, you know how to chit chat with, you should be able to chit chat with your audience, hold conversation with your audience. Wow, that's rich coming from Ryzar Blazenfang, the one that blabs into the most random things ever, right? But you know, at least, you know, you have to hold some level of conversation. And I mean, what else do streamers do? Like, you know, you see a lot of corpo VTubers usually gaming, so you might want to start thinking about like, you know, if that's what you're going to be doing for your stream, then heck, go for it. You've seen other corporate VTubers like having other skills like singing, or whatever. So yeah, if there's like other talents you want to showcase, like play the guitar, stuff like that, then you might want to consider that as well. At the end of the day, this is another one of the things where there's no real perfect structure to how you're, or formula with how you're going to go about this. It just ultimately comes back to like knowing what your talents are, knowing what talents you also, by the way, also what talents you feel like would be adequate and appropriate to highlight your capacity to become a corporate VTuber. So yeah, just kind of, at least that's some level of preparation you can do. You'll find out what further preparation is needed once you get the email. But I will say though, that's still a good test nonetheless. Because I feel like as a VTuber with FSPEN, there's a lot of things you should be able to do where it's a bit on the fly. Like you have to be able to plan on the fly. You have to kind of think on the fly and like have a plan B at short notice when it comes to certain things. I mean, you guys have seen it happen to me before, right? Like I was supposed to, like, there'd be some times where I'm supposed to be streaming this game, but because of scuff, I had to switch to something else because maybe it's not working properly, or I don't know, PC is acting up, so I have to do something a little bit lighter. So, you know, stuff like that. So just be prepared. Yeah. Showcase your best self, which you should be doing throughout. And prove to the Dark Overlords that you can successfully stream and entertain in a stream, because that's going to be the whole point of becoming a VTuber, right? So, yeah. Now, for that, I'm going to see if there's any questions in the marshmallow, which will maybe help us expound on that a bit more, but that's most of what I'll say about the test stream, because that's the whole point of like why you're applying to FSP, right? That's gonna be your bread and butter. That's gonna be what you're gonna be doing for like 90% of your tenure as a talent with FSP and streaming. So yeah, start thinking about what you want to do, what you potentially want to do, and be prepared to be flexible enough to do stuff on the fly, or like change plans, whatever preconception you have of what you think you'll be able to what you'll be doing during the stream test. Adjust accordingly once you get further details in that email, because you'll never know what they're going to ask of you. And I mean, who's for us to say, like, the parameters of what we did for Gen 2 auditions could be suddenly different for Gen 3. So yeah, just another thing to keep in mind. That's why it's kind of hard to talk about it. And for final interview, okay, I will say this. The second interview, because like there's another interview that comes. Obviously it's gonna be like the first interview. They'll be asking more questions. It might get harder, I will say. Might get harder. I can't say what type of questions they ask, but it felt harder. Either it felt harder or I was just feeling the pressure of the moment, since it was the final interview, and I was thinking that this is my last chance to this is your last chance to impress them and save yourself from elimination. The time has come. I don't know if any of you will get that reference, Lamau. But yeah. Your last chance to make an impression. If there's things you felt were left unsaid during the first interview, and heck, even the stream, now is your time to bring it up. Now is the time to hit the home run. It's like, I got so far and did so much crashing out. I thought, for a moment, I thought you were going to go the Linkin Park route on that. I tried so hard and got so far. And then, you don't want that happening to you. You don't want that happening to you, absolutely. It will be tougher, I will say. I can't specify why. I can't talk about why it was harder. It felt harder for me. But like I said, like, interviews are kind of my forte, like going into like job interviews and stuff. By the time I got to the final interview, I was 100% sure about getting in. Damn! Okay. I mean, I guess in a way, like I said, I was approaching it like I'm trying to sell myself. I'm trying to go in it with the mindset that I'm the best guy for the job, and I need to convince them of that, right? So in a way, I was, that was that was what I was trying to tell myself, at least, like, yes, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. But then, like, you start like having intrusive thoughts like, maybe it's not me, maybe it's not me, maybe it's not me. But yeah, it's not over till it's over. Because, like, likely they would have narrowed it down already. From the thousands of people that applied, obviously they would have narrowed down the picks. Because they're not going to be screening 1,000 people in the test stream. Let's be real here. It's going to take months before they get through everybody. So, yeah. Like, there's a few of you left. I don't know how many exactly. I wouldn't know how many exactly. Because I actually don't know. I actually don't know how many were left by the time we reached that second interview, and there were like however many people auditioning for Mr. Orange Dinosaur Man. But yeah, like, I feel like, I will say this though, this is like more personal. This is a more personal mindset. This is how I approached it. First interview was like me giving them a taste of what I am as a person, just like, I feel like it's like that getting to know each other phase. If this were like the equivalent of dating, this is like, the first interview was the getting to know each other phase. The last interview should be preparing to make the proposal. All right, you're trying to gear yourself towards convincing them that you are the one. Yeah. I was confident, but I did my research and prepared. Don't be lazy. Exactly, true. The main thing is that you are not the last one left. Even if it's a 1v1, you gotta tip those skills. That's true. That's true. Because you'll never know. Let's say even in theory you are the last one standing, and then what if you like monumentally scare, like, what if you monumentally screw up the second? I'm not saying you are, but But like, you know, it's in theory, like, what if you screwed up so bad they're like, you know what, let's call that one guy that, you know, we kind of ended the stream, you know, like they suddenly bring back someone from a certain base and like, you know what, we'll try interviewing this guy as, you know. So yeah, don't ever, it's not over till it's over. It's not over till you get that final email saying, oh, that you get in. I'm not fighting with Nixamal. I agree with what he is saying too. Yeah, that's not fighting, guys. This is like, am I allowed to say that word? Wait, no, I don't think I'm allowed to say that word. It's, yeah, anyway. I'm not gonna, you know what, never mind, I'm not gonna say the word. I'm not gonna say the word. It's banter. Yeah, it's banter. There you go. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's banter. It's absolutely banter. So yeah, final interview. I would assume they have backups before them telling, oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, keep pushing, keep doing your best. Like, it's until they let you in, until they make you sign the contract. Assume that you are not full. I'm a bit, oh my god, actually no, I had that mindset. Like, bruh, I did not breathe easy. No, actually, you know what, I didn't breathe easier until we debuted. Like, even when I signed the contract, I was assuming that they could kick my ass out at any time. And, you know, we could have recorded our song already, and then suddenly they decide, you know what, maybe we don't like this guy we casted for Ryzar Blazenfang. Maybe we should just go with that other guy after all, you know? Like, I didn't breathe easy. I didn't feel secure in my position until we debuted, man. That's how paranoid I was. I might have been thinking that I'm the best guy for the role, but, you know, I think I am. For, you know, that opinion could change at any time for the Dark Overlords, you know? Like, it's I think I even told them this in Japan at one point, like when we went to the Baruda. Like I think I joked with one of the Dark Overlords that, yeah, like after this trip you probably are gonna like realize that, you know what, we chose the wrong person. Let's contact that other guy while we still can. But yeah, after debut, I wonder if I'm gonna make it in. Because like once we debut, it's like, okay, this is for real. There's no backsies. There's no backsies anymore. They can't cast anyone else. This isn't like some kind of anime where they can recast the voice actor or something. Nah, this is like, I was fully in denial until like November. Same, actually, same, absolutely same. So yeah, I mean, it's like they say, live life like it's the last, you know, like live and chase and work and, you know, live life like it's the last day. I'm misquoting that. Never mind. You guys get what I mean. Nah, I thought they were gonna pull a Sonic Million redo. Damn. For real though. So yeah, I hope. Yeah. All right. You know what? Let's check some of the questions. Okay. I feel like that's most of what I wanted to talk about for those phases. Okay, let's let me check some questions. For those that just came into the stream, there were some questions that were asked in chat that I already answered already. So yeah, you guys can check out the full VOD. I think it'll be helpful. Yeah, it'll definitely be helpful. I hope, at least. I hope. Considering how much I blab and not make sense sometimes. I hope it does, at least. Bro, now once we all met, I would have fought the Dark Overlords if they tried to take you guys away from me. Aww. Damn. We're making out tonight. I'm just kidding. All right. Yes, sorry, questions. Let me check the marshmallow real quick. All right. With the power of love and friendship, sure. Lots of love and more than friendship. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is a good question. I like this question. Okay, I was late to the stream, so I'm not sure if you answered this already, time zones, but do you think that doing whatever you can to show them exactly the vibe they can expect from you as a streamer is a good direction for the video? Would you say the more unique and creative the video is would help sell yourself, if that's what you're aiming for as a streamer live or with FSP? I think that's a great direction, if anything. Like, it's like a, you know that saying, not really saying or phrase or whatever, like what you see is what you get. So yeah, I think like, no, it's great. I think that's a really good thing to do. Like right off the bat, you're already showing what you are, who you are as a content creator. Like, you know, this is me, this is what I'm capable of, my personality, this is how I draw your attention, love it or not. So yeah, I think it's good. And I don't know, for me, that's like a good way to go and like have no regrets, because you're presenting, you know, you're basically presenting nothing else but yourself. So yeah, the best version of yourself, at least, is what I've been saying. So yeah. Unique and creative. For the second question, would you say the more unique and creative the video is? Absolutely. Like whatever little spring, like, because everyone auditioning, I feel, you know, everybody auditioning wants to be a VTuber. Everybody auditioning probably has something that they're bringing to the table one way or another, right? So it's up to you to figure out what little sprinkle, like if you're like an ice cream sundae, it's your job to figure out like what little sprinkles and icing and toppings and whipped cream and cherry on top you can put to make yourself that delectable ice cream that's more enticing than the other ice creams. What an analogy. Jeez, it always goes back to food with me. All right. Wait, this question. How did you deal with the anxiety of waiting for a response when you submitted your audition? Did you keep checking your email? Now, I remember, oh my God. So, so for the folks from Avalon, I think it was Gil that said, like, once they submitted their thing, once they did their thing, like, out of sight, out of mind. Right? So to answer your question, how did you deal with the anxiety of waiting for a response when you submitted your audition? Honestly, I wasn't able to deal with it. Like every single day I would check my email. Please, please, please. Like, let me out of my suffering, man. Like, let me, you know, if I'm not in, just let me know already so I can move on with my life and fulfill my true calling as, I don't know, like, I don't know, let me move on with my life and become the zookeeper of I always wanted to be. And, you know, so I can end my misery and accept that I'm not meant to be a VTuber. Yeah, exactly. You can't sugarcoat it. Like, unless you're that type of person that's able to like really do the whole out of sight, out of mind thing, if you're like, you will be anxious. I'm not gonna lie, I was anxious waiting. Like, and since I couldn't talk about it with people, like there'd be some people that would be like, why have you been so fidgety lately? Why does it feel like you've been so anxious lately? And I'd be like, no, I'm just stuff. Just waiting for some stuff. Don't worry about it. It's okay. So yeah, I was like anxious AF, man. So like, you guys have no, like, when I, all right, you know what, just to like add padding to this Yeah, the waiting, honestly, that's why when we did the whole Ravenous thing, the whole Ravenous audition thing, I legit meant it when the hardest part was the waiting. I don't know, because I feel like when it comes to performing, I'm pretty, this is like a case-to-case thing, methinks. When it comes to like the interviews and streaming, like sure, I was nervous about the stream, but these were things that were fully in my control, that I had some type of, yeah, I guess I was trying to think of a like a synonym for it, but yeah, it goes back to, yeah, I had some kind of control with what I could do. You know, this was all me. But with the waiting part, because it's like deliberation, you don't know what the dark overlords are thinking. You don't know, you know, for all I know, they could have already thrown my application in the trash bin already, you know. So, but yeah, it was rough, man. I'm the type of person that's like, it, you know, like if I could get it sooner, if I could do it sooner, yes. But yeah, it was yeah. Because, you know, it's understandable though, right? Because it's something you really want, so you're gonna like keep praying that please, you know. So, you know, just to add a little extra whipped cream to this thing, when I did get the email though, you know, the funny thing, wait, sorry, I already talked about this like during my first month ever, but since there's like a lot of new folks, so I mentioned like I check my email every day, right? You know, when I got my acceptance email, it was the one day I didn't check my email. It was so funny, dude. So when I found out I got in, I was actually spending time with the Dino fam, right? So like Mama Dino, Papa Dino, and Blazin siblings. Yeah, we were like out doing family stuff. So I found out the day after the emails were sent that I'm not gonna say what was exactly in the email, but essentially it was just like confirmation that you got in. So it was so funny because it's like, I shit you not, I check my email every single day. It was that one single day I did not check my email because I was doing family stuff and I was preoccupied with that I did not check my email. And let me tell you, because when I saw the email, and I just remembered, like, you know what, I'm gonna check my email, you know, just to check, you know, maybe you know, not even just for like the audition, but like, you know, maybe, I don't know, like one of the things I ordered online might be on the way already, or might have already arrived. And when I saw the email, like I was alone because we were checked in at a hotel at the time. I was alone in the room. I think my family was at breakfast. How did you act? What were you doing, etc.? Yeah, exactly. So I cried later, but in that moment it was more shock. I almost cried. The crying definitely came later, like once I was able to fully process things, because I was preparing for I think I was preparing for breakfast at the time, like because we were basically on the go. Yeah. It was like I was like super happy. Like I was really happy because, you know, worked hard. You know, we all worked really hard to get to where we're at. Go through the whole interviews, all the waiting, the anxious waiting. So yeah, I was really happy, and because obviously I couldn't tell anybody, right? So the first, you know, I could only really actually even my parents, I didn't specifically tell them I got into this. I just said that, yeah, I think I'm getting a new job. Because I was paranoid about, like, you know, I was still paranoid about the whole, and, you know, keeping things secret. So I didn't even specify to my parents until I actually like was able, you know, was like properly able to tell them like what exactly I was getting myself. No, I think I was able to finally properly tell them. Like I felt, you know, I felt much more comfortable, like, okay, you know what, I can actually like tell them what I'm doing. It was before our first trip to the Baruda, because obviously, like, you know, we're going to the Baruda for the first time for like work, so obviously I had to tell them why. But even when I was telling them, I still wasn't like specific. Like I just answered what I I just told them what I needed them to know, and whatever I needed to tell them that would help, like, you know, because obviously, like, you know, as Dino Mama and Dino Papa, they would worry about me traveling, right? So, and they'd be thinking like, is this a legit company? Are you sure you're not flying somewhere only to like be organs for somebody? And like, no, this is like actually a thing. Like, this is actually a thing. Don't worry, I'm not going into some kind of scam or something. I'm still gonna come back in one piece, me things. So yeah. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, like a fun little tidbit since we were on the topic of like the waiting part. Let's see. Will it be annoying to apply every time auditions are open, even if I failed the previous ones? No, not at all. If anything, it'll be even impressive. Like, if you audition from first gen and second gen, if you're going into third gen, no, not at all. The Dark Overlords will like give you a fair shot regardless of how many times you've applied in the past. In this case, twice if you audition as early as first gen. I think one of the best things you can do, in fact, is, you know what'll be really impressive in this case? If your third time applying, you show growth. I think that's one of the best things you can do if you failed to get in the first 2 times. Like, you know, go into it with a mindset that, you know what? I might not have been the perfect fit the first 2 times. Let me show you my growth. Let me show you how much I've improved since then. Let me show, again, remember, preparation plus opportunity equals success, right? So let me show you how much work I put into the preparation aspect to show you that Gen 1 and Gen 2 might not have been it for me, but Gen 3, this is my time. This is my time to become a member of FSPEN. This is my time to have ears and bark like a dog in, I don't even know, was that like an officer uniform? This is my time to woof like I've never woofed before, baby. So yeah, mindset. Okay. All right. I got a question. Wait, yeah. Let's see. Okay, this is like not necessarily an advice question, but like a for fun question. If you were applying for FSP's third wave now, which design would you have auditioned for and why? I'm gonna be so real. I feel like I would have gone for, I would have wanted the dog looking one, but I feel like they would have casted me for the scientist mayhaps, depending on, but I don't know. I don't think I give green energy though. It feels, wait, what's, because like, I don't know, whenever I think chemist, I think green because of like, you know, characters like Viper from Valorant. So is he green though? I can't remember. What was the color in the teaser video? Was it green? It gives me green vibes. I don't know. Whenever I think of like something that's like scientist or chemist looking, I think green automatically. Is he green? Turquoise. 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 Okay, gotcha. All right. I feel like I would have wanted, no, actually I would have wanted doggo. I would have wanted the doggo looking one. And not just because I want to pet the doggo, but I feel like I could fit that as well. It'd just be like my more demure self. You know, just to like fulfill the officer-ish part, I guess. You know, very mindful, very demure, very cutesy. Yeah, I would have gone for like the police doggo looking one. I don't even know if it's a dog, to be honest. For all I know, it could have been a fox all along, and I kept on calling it a doggo. Oops. Still, I want to pet it. But yeah. Yeah, I'd want that one. I'd absolutely audition for that one. I don't know if I'm gonna be so real though. I don't think I would. I'd still go into it with that. I feel like I'd have trouble going into the audition with that mindset though. Because when I saw Gen 1 auditions open, I decided not. Okay, also, by the way, I regret this, by the way. Because when I first saw Gen 1 auditions come up, I did consider applying. I ended up not applying though, because I saw the character designs and I'm like, I don't think any of these guys fit me. I think at most, if I did apply, I would have gone for Gale or Lucy's role, mayhaps. Yeah. Oh, sorry, my nose is just like so stuffed. But yeah. But I don't know. But looking back, I should have applied. I should have applied regardless. Like, because here's the thing. Here's like another mindset thing I want you guys to keep in mind. Sometimes we think we're not suited for something. It's like a perspective thing. Like they say there's like three points of views in a situation, right? There's your point of view, there's the other person's point of view, and the actual like real situation, right? The whole reality of the situation, the actual like truth, not necessarily a POV, but the actual like truth of the situation from no one's eyes, like just the actual cold sorted facts of the situation. So yeah, what I'm trying to get at here is, just because you think you're not fitted for it doesn't mean that in someone else's eyes you could potentially be a good fit, because you'll never know. Again, going to these auditions, you'll never know what they're looking for. Like, you can assume, sure, but you never truly know what they're looking for. And it's like I say, there could be that offset chance that you're just so good that they want to make it work regardless, right? Like, they're gonna find a way for you to fit in. So yeah. My goldfish memory kicked in. What were we talking about again? What were we talking about again? My geriatric goldfish memory kicked in and I forgot what we were talking about. Oh my god, I'm so bad memory, man. What the my brain went into a soft factory reset, man. Yes, there you go. Thank you. Yes. In hindsight, I should have auditioned for Gen 1 and just did my best regardless. I feel like the only reason I'm saying that Gen 2 was my moment, because I really felt connected to the design right off the bat. When I saw the dinosaur design, I'm like, yes. My dumbass is perfect for this, because he looks like a dumbass. I'm not saying, like, design wise, but he looks like he has the brain of a dumbass. This is so perfect for me. Okay. Also, thank you for the Ryzupa. Oh yeah, again, to any Ryzupas, Ryzonos, I'm gonna make sure to stick around because I'm gonna read everything towards the end of the stream. Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy I got into Gen 2, because honestly, I don't think I'd still shoot my shot going into Gen 3, but I wouldn't feel as connected. I think Dinosaur Boy is like me. Like, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light shine on me. Stupid. Let's see. What can I reply? What other questions can I take in? What's one thing you wish you knew before auditioning? Interesting question. I'm not sure if I have an answer for this, so let me think carefully. What's something I wish I knew before auditioning? Breathe. I know that's so weird. Same TBH, Oni was the one for me. Or would you say the role you got was the only one for you? Sorry. Anyway. The one and only indeed, yeah. I can't imagine anyone else striking me with lightning. I made that joke too many times. You know what? Fair. It's literally your introduction. You know what? Fair. You know what? Touche, touche. All right. What else? What else? What other questions can we answer today? Yeah. Honestly, it's not really a no thing. It's more of an approach thing. I wish I breathed more in the process of the audition. You know, I felt confident, but at the same time, like, boy, was I anxious throughout. Another thing I wish I knew was, I don't think there was anything. I felt like I approached the audition with no regrets, like approaching it the way I feel is like the best way I could have approached it at the time. So yeah, I don't think there's anything I can think of to answer that question. My nose, why is it so stuffy? Curse my dino nose. Jeez, dude. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. Oh, okay. In FSP, there seems to be a lot of method acting to fit into role of the character's lore. Any advice for improving voice acting and specifically character portrayal? I guess first off, let me dispel that for you. Okay, my internet's back. Sorry, it like disconnected for a split second. Okay. Am I back? Can you guys hear me? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. If nobody hears me, I'm gonna leak my booba on. Oh wait, okay, you guys can hear me. Never mind. Teehee. Okay. Where was I? Where was I? Oh, get here. That's crazy. No, 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 no. You can't fool me. Somebody already confirmed. All right. So yeah, let me dispel that right away. In terms of the lore, I think the only time you'll really need to like kind of act-ish, like voice act, is in the actual lore video. Moving forward after you debut, you don't really need to you don't really need to like keep up the whole like voice packs. Fair. Yeah, that's true, Nix, for voice packs. I think that's the thing, like if portraying a character isn't like, you know, like being like being a fully immersed character isn't your thing, I think you should be fine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it should be fine. Like, they will find a way to work with that, methinks. Because like, for example, if I'm looking at this from the perspective of, let's say, if I were in someone's shoes where I feel like I'm not good at acting, or if I don't feel like I'm good at like, you know, like trying to portray a certain thing, like I'd find a way to work around it. You know, like for example, for a lore video, maybe I'll just like play narrator to my own story instead of like voice acting scenes. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think, or you know, if the Dark Overlords will assist you, I will say that though. They will help you in places you feel that you need working on. Because like if you make it into FSP, then I feel like the Dark Overlords, like, you know, have already figured you out enough and have like, even if you feel like you might not be the best voice actor, probably like from how they've seen you portray yourself on stream, they would think that this is something we can work with. You know what I mean? from both the interviews, because like the only time they'll really hear you is like the audition video, the interviews, and the okay, you know what, pretty much every single phase, never mind. But yeah, they probably like, yeah, they'll probably help you out if you feel like you're not enough. Like they're pretty hands-on with some stuff, so I can't really specify much. They're pretty hands-on with helping us with some stuff, I'd say, so you don't have to worry about that. They will assist you in improving in whatever you need to improve on, assuming you get it, of course. But yeah, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's like a hard, like it's not gonna be the end of the world if it's not fully your thing going into the auditions. Because again, like maybe what if like you're a really epic singer and performer, but voice acting isn't quite your strong suit, and they still think you're good enough. So, you know, it's something that can be worked on. I wouldn't sweat it too much if like you're worried that it's like a thing that could hinder you getting in. Any other question? By the way, I'm going to start closing the marshmallow a little bit. So if you guys have any last minute questions that I haven't answered yet, ooh, good question. Hi Ryzar, hopefully this isn't too late, but could someone create a visual for their video? Like you're gonna create like visual stuff? Yeah. I'd say the sky's the limit when it comes to the video. However, whatever creativity you can pull to pull the audition people's attention, do it. As long as it's within TOS and reason. Yeah. But yeah, as long as it's within reason. Yeah, do whatever it takes, as long as it's like appropriate, you know. Do it. Is it fine to apply for becoming a VTuber if you already have a main job and make VTubing like your side job? Would it be difficult to juggle those jobs if you know? I think I answered this during the Ravanis stream, but I'd be more than happy to answer it again. Because yeah, we haven't talked about it during this stream particularly, so yeah, it's fine. I think it would be fine. It would be fine. I mentioned during the Ravanis stream that I actually plans on going back to university, albeit with minimum load, so that it doesn't interfere with my VTubing too much, because it's definitely something I can easily balance if it's just minimum load. But this is like job. As long as you feel like your job isn't gonna hinder your activities as a VTuber or obstruct, just take into account that as part of being part of FSPEN, they will need to fly you to the Baruda sometimes for work stuff, and you have to be able to fly during those times when they need you. So, or you know, maybe there's like meet, because one thing you have to keep in mind, guys, is once you get into FSPEN, it's not just streaming you're gonna be doing. There's meetings you have to attend, you know, like self-development stuff, self-improvement stuff, yeah, traveling, meeting obligations. Like you guys have seen Avalon, for example, do their meet and greets before. I wonder when we're getting meet and greets. Dark Overlords, I want to do a meet and greet now. When we were gonna, you know what I mean. But yeah, if you feel like the current job you have is gonna interfere with fulfilling those duties, then it might be tough, Chief. Yeah, something to take into account. But if you feel like your work isn't going to interfere, like if you have a flexible job where you're able to just like take those leaves when necessary, and I'm not just talking about scheduling, by the way, I'm also talking about your general energy, because again, from a Dinoboi's perspective, geriatric, 70 million years of age, I certainly have my limits when it comes to my energy. Like for example, I need my 8 hours of sleep, or else I'm gonna be a really grumpy, really unenergetic Dinoboi. We didn't want to worry, but that was just me and you, and it was called a meet and greet. fair. I don't know about the greet part. There was really no greeting. Grinding, sure, but greeting, eh. Unless there's some kind of like physical language I'm not aware of, because, you know, I haven't been around for a while. I mean, 70 years, but I was under the ground for most of the rest of the years that came. So yeah, there's that. True though, true. Now, where was I? Yeah, hope that answers your question, by the way. It's more of a thing you have to take into account of and like figure out if you'll be able to balance or not. But don't worry. I think the Dark Overlords, the people seeing through your auditions, whoever is involved, will be able to gauge that. You just have to be straight up with like what your current job looks like right now, and they'll probably ask you questions as well, like will you be able to like drop this or that or do this or that to make sure you fulfill your yeah, you know, it's something they'll figure out along the way, I believe. I really forgot. Assuming you've gotten in, do they assist if you have things like It depends, I guess. Because I have ADHD, I will say. I got the ADHDs going on, man. So, I think at the end of the day, the question you have to ask yourself is, not even question, but I think as long as you're able to fulfill your obligations as a VTuber within the company, then you should be fine. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was like really thinking about it. Like, yeah, you'll be fine. I mean, I'm fine. Debatably so, in terms of, you know, existence, but fine nonetheless. Yeah, it'd be like that. Communication is key, indeed, indeed. Honesty is the best policy. And the policy is no return, no exchange. Okay, let me just also again, last minute questions. I'm gonna start closing the form in like 4 minutes, so yeah, ask. Okay, here's a question. I'm gonna close like my marshmallow in like 4 minutes or less, because I want to like raid into someone soon while they're still streaming. Okay, is being tone deaf or not having any basic singing skills and training a debuff while auditioning for VTubing, since I feel it is an important skill to have in the long run along with gaming skills? I guess it depends. I will say though that this is me. This is not me speaking on behalf of FSP, but this is like more personal opinion, because I think I don't know what the Dark Overlords' answer is to that, because I'm not sure if it's like, because I can sing to an extent. I wouldn't say professionally, but I can carry a tune enough to get through with some auto tuning. But yeah, because like one thing you have to take into account is, you know, both Avalum and Ravanis, you know, we've had a debut song. Avalum has a group song. There's like an original song out as a follow-up, and on top of that, each member of Avalum has a cover now. Yeah, each one has a, sorry, not cover. Zanny has an original song, but basically each boy has some form of song content out. And for Ravenous, I'm not sure what the plans are for the future for each boy. TBD, to be determined. If like, I don't know. But you know, we all did the night to day, right? And everyone sounded pretty good, methinks. So yeah, I wouldn't, you know, I'd encourage my gen mates to try to do something song wise individually. So yeah, I can't really answer that for the company, for FSP, but I will say from a personal perspective, this is like my mindset going into the audition. At the end of the day, the company's name is First Stage Production EN. First stage being the keywords here. So like my understanding from the company name alone is, stage. You're expected, perform, like stage associating with performance. So maybe, at least my expectation was, you need to at least like not be perfect, but at least, again, I'm not sure. This is like more personal perspective and understanding. Because even if I'm in, like, there's no real I don't know if Zanny might have talked about this actually. Maybe I'll ask Zanny later on and mention it during a future stream. Because like I remember, it was something that Zanny grew into. Well, in my case, I've always, as someone that was heavily inspired by Idolish 7 as one of the reasons why I wanted to pursue this. Like I've always kind of had that goal in mind where if I could improve my voice enough and try to do like more idol stuff, I would. So yeah, I'm sorry if I couldn't fully answer that question, but hope it helps at least like, set a little bit of expectation, at least based on like what we have right now, where again, each gen released an original song as part of their debut. All of Avalon have some form of song on their channels, and I mean, Malum has one, Altus has one, Nayu has one. It's only me and Nix that haven't released anything yet. But I've done like a shitload of karaokes, which is funny if you think about it. I think I've done the most karaokes in Ravanis, but I don't have a song out yet either. In the future I will. I told you guys we're cooking. It's taking time. It's still in the oven. We need to put icing and frosting and all the other cute stuff on it. So yeah. Oh yeah, short covers too actually. Yeah, true. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And I will close my marshmallow now. If you guys have any further questions, I'm not sure if there's... Nix, have you done yours yet? I don't think Nick... Has Nix done his audition thing yet? I can't remember. I was like completely shut down from social media. For... Not yet. Oh, tomorrow night. Yeah, there you go. Oh, right. You're the third person. Yeah. So if you have any questions that you suddenly remember that I wasn't able to answer and want to bring up, then Mr. Nix Voltaire might be able to answer for you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me close that. Okay. Last graze over questions, and then we're going to raid over to whoever's still live right now. Okay. Okay, I like this question. I kind of answered this, but I'm willing to do this one again in case like I might be able to expound on it even further. Especially since I kind of relate to these kind of questions. I've never streamed before. I've done stage performance, singing, dancing, acting, and various stuff in mediums like dubbing for fan dubs and being an actor on stage. Do you think the fact that I didn't stream before would be a hinder? Right off the bat? Right off the bat, fam, I'm gonna tell you right now, from that first sentence alone, you already sold me on becoming interested in you. I'm gonna be so real. You already sold me from just mentioning those things. Again, it's like that talk the talk and then walk the walk thing on the stream. You already sold me. I'm gonna tell you right now. So definitely not a hindrance. I'd say... It's like what we were telling. If you haven't streamed yet, you have plenty of time to learn how to operate OBS, like the streaming thing, the streaming software that people use to stream. Like, it's never too late. So yeah, I'd say definitely not. Especially if that's your portfolio. If you have like substantial portfolio in the skills you mentioned, then heck no, definitely not a hindrance in my book. I'm also not much of a gamer. Is that something that I should focus on, or is it my acting and singing and talking would be enough? Would that be okay? I'm not that much of a gamer. I'd say, again, because like they also mentioned that, I know it's probably going to be your own personal opinion on this and not FSP, and that's completely fine. Okay, from my perspective, I'm gonna be so real. I'm a shit gamer. Again, I was Challenger Season 3 for League of Legends, but my reflexes and, again, like, my brain deteriorating, like, actually, I'm so bad like I only play, I'm like silver, I play like a freaking silver gold player in this day and age. And I consider myself a very casual gamer now. Like I don't try hard at games anymore. If anything, the only thing I'm try hard at are horror games, because like I like playing horror games on max difficulty when available. So but I think you don't have to be like a hardcore gamer. I will say that. You don't have to even be a mid gamer. But I think the important thing here is you should be willing to play games for entertainment as part of your streaming activities. This is more personal opinion though. I'm not sure if like what the Dark Overlords have to say about that, but because since VTubing, you know, for a lot of VTubers, like in order to fill those schedules, in order to fill activity, especially as a corporate VTuber, you know, you can't just be streaming once a week. You have to stream more than that. I think it mentions even in the application, like you have to at least stream 3 times a week, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's more of like, even if you're not a gamer, as long as you're willing to play games on stream as part of your like whole shtick as a VTuber, then it should be fine. Because again, like me, because of my prehistoric 70 million year existence, I've grown to not be as try hard with games anymore. I just like playing very casual games. Heck, if I can just like play, you know, that one snake game on the phone from back in the day as content, then yes, I do it. Ukiran, Angry Birds, Angry Bird Streamer Yard. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You're good, fam. Okay, just out of curiosity, but in terms of equipment, say I have a pretty decent laptop, but it's kind of mid and I don't have a good mic. Do they kind of find ways to fund you better equipment and all that? They will, I think, I can't specifically answer this. I think the most I can say is the company will help you in however way they can. Yeah, I think that's as far as I can say when it comes to answering that. They'll help you in however they can. No promises on everything though, but you know, they help where they can. All right, last round of questions. Let's see, last few questions. Probably I'll choose like 3 more and we'll call it a day. I kind of answered this. I would say, how good is your content right now, even with the stuff you are working with? Oh, fair. Actually, yeah. Because like, I know people that stream with like, you know, they started off with a really bad setup, but for some reason they're entertaining as hell. So, you know. Especially in like a region like in Asia, for example, like the in some of the countries where it's a bit harder for people to afford like a really nice PC. Like I've seen content creators like go from nothing to boom, just purely off of how entertaining they are, even if they have like the like a really like literally streaming from their phone. Because you can do that this day and age, right? Like you just need your, like you can just stream from your phone and you're good to go. I think I tried that at one point even. I actually did that at one point. I like, you know, just for the funsies, I tested it. I think the app I use no longer exists, but yeah. Okay. I think I kind of answered this earlier. Yeah, I already answered this one, because the question was like, if I had to do anything all over again, would I have done anything differently? And I said like, no. I think I did it exactly the way I would have wanted to in the moment, and would have been happy regardless of whether I got in or out, because I was proud of what I produced. Except for butchering FSP into FPS. That's a different story. I was not proud of that. Let's see. God, my nose is tough. Sorry if I sound like different sometimes, or trying to like. I have bad allergy. I think I answered, yeah, because some of the questions are mostly repeats or things I can't answer. Oh my god, I think we're good actually. Trying to like everything has been answering me. What did you show off to FSP during audition? My big juicy dinosaur tail. No. No. I just like, again, I can't be specific, but I just showed what I thought was, I just chose which skills I think were pertinent to becoming a VTuber and highlighted those. And then any other skills that might not be mainstream for VTubing, but I felt would be useful, I indicated in the form. I mean, you know, if I wanted to audition to become a dinosaur, you know, you know, you need to like, you know, method acting taken to the next level. No, I didn't actually. Because some of you might suddenly be preparing dog ears for their interview. No. Yeah, I think I answered most of the questions from the marshmallow already. There's not much else to answer. Yeah. Hope that helps some of y'all. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. I wanted to prepare a presentation for this, but yeah, between like my allergies and suffering yesterday because of said allergies and lack of sleep, yeah, I wasn't able to prepare one. But I hope this was helpful nonetheless. Some of the stuff we say in the advice videos might already be very similar to like the other boys, but I tried to at least like, I don't know, I still wanted to do this advice stream regardless, from in case there were like some POV stuff from my own experience that might differ from the other boys. And you know, I guess it also just kind of shows like how our journeys might have been a bit different from each other, even though like we all made it into the same company. God, I'm talking so weird right now because of my nose. Jeez. Anyway, yeah, thank you again for tuning in. Thank you. We also have some notifications we have to go through. Let's check them out, shall we? Lily, thank you for joining the Blazing Gang. Clover, thank you for the surprise treat. Cotton Candy through the Cotton Candy Ryzupa, thank you. I'll gladly take that. Lix, thank you for being part of the Blazing Gang for 1 month. Let's go. Don't want to get too sappy, but thank you for allowing a lurker like myself the confidence to become a member of this community. Love you, right? Yo, I'm happy to hear that. Honestly, it makes me so happy that there's like a good chunk of the Ryzar community that were like only that were mostly comfortable with just being lurkers, watching other VTubers, but suddenly like we're comfortable enough to come out of their shell in the Ryzar community. So you're awesome for that. Thank you, Lix. Thank you for thank you for taking that leap into like, you know, actively being part of the community. And like, you're awesome, fam. You're awesome for that. Like keep that in mind. You're awesome for taking that leap, for like, you know, saying that, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try, YOLO, and hey, like you're like a staple, you know, like you're like a staple person in chat now, and that's amazing, fam. So yeah, props to you. Mia Moore, thank you for the 5 recruitments into the Blazing Gang. Thank you so much, Cupcake. Thank you for being our beautiful recruiter. Thank you. More members of the Blazing Gang. Woo! Chaos Killer G, thank you for the mint chocolate Ryzupa. Okay, thank you. Oh yes, yeah, I answered this question earlier. As long as you're willing to play a male role, which is what the audition is open for right now, then it's fair game for everybody. Apply, shoot your shot. As long as you're comfortable, playing a male role, because that's what we're looking for right now. Mr. Johan, thank you for the mint chocolate Ryzupa. Thank you for sharing your process, Ryzar. You're so inspiring. I'm really interested in enjoying, but not that confident. Aw, it's okay. I mean, I recognize that it's easy to say that, just shoot your shot, but, some people just really need, I also acknowledge that some people just need more time, and that's totally fine. Like, once you actually feel like you're ready, or, it's one of two things. Either you're actually just need more time, or you're just like not believing in yourself enough, and you should actually shoot your shot, and you'll be surprised. It's either usually one of the two, but yeah, it's fine. Thank you again for the Ryzupa. Nox, yo, thank you for being part of the Blazing Gang. Welcome, as well as to Gaike. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Galleria, thank you. Hope you guys enjoy those emotes, and yeah, thank you again. Thank you. I know I say thank you enough, but I'm just really appreciative whenever new folks join the Blazing Gang. Props to you. Tristan, yo, Tristan, there they are. Thank you for the cotton candy Ryzupa. Ryzer rebooted with an update. Oh wait, okay, I remember when this Ryzupa came in. Thank you. And a cow. Double farts. Thank you for the Ryzupa, methinks. Yeah, think, I guess. All right, let me just check the Ryzonos real quick in case I might have missed something. And indeed, I did. Snotaku, thank you for the Ryzono. Quietly sneaking. Hey, hope you had a good day off, Ry. Oh, thank you. Could have been better, but it's fine. Not the double farts. Excuse. I mean, I've seen double, so. And apparently, like, double was enough to blow 3 leaves, so. Oh, potency. Yeah, cool. Honestly, worked, man. Work, fam. Yeah. Play. And your jacket too? That's great. Okay, you know what? Fair. It did. Yeah, you know what? Fair. I can't even deny that. It did kind of just fly away during the Ravenous Advice stream. I'm glad someone took responsibility for it. Yike! Am I pronouncing your name right, by the way? I hope I am. Wait, no. Wait, they did chat. Wait, I need to... Wait, how? Wait, what? Wait, did I miss the... Wait, where's the pronunciation? Wait, I can't... Can you... Geike. Okay, Geike. Geiki. Oh my god, I sneezed so hard. I don't know if, like, I muted in time. Oh my god. Holy shito. God, I hope I don't have a stuffy nose tomorrow when we do Pokemon Unite, or else GG for me. Oh. Geiki. Or Gake. Oh, Gake. Is it Gake or Geiki? Because, like, I say cake twice, like, 2 different ways. L, so this is how you are in Ryri's chat. Yeah, they are. Yeah, it'd be, yeah, honestly, Kai, yeah, they truly do be. Geike, got it. Awesome. Thank you, Geike. cool name actually. I like your avatar too. Very, very eye-catching. All right. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you, thank you. You know what? I'm gonna, before I forget, I'm gonna take some meds now for it. Never mind, I need to search for it. But yeah. Geika, thank you again for the cotton candy Ryzupa. Elenice, thank you for the cotton candy Ryzupa as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I gotta find the moment I got blasted here and clip it for myself. Also, thank you for always, wait, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but thank you for always blessing my, like, you always pop up on my, on my For You page a lot. And like, it's like, yes, beautiful art. Scrumptious. Gorgeous. Phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you for your services to mankind. Many more to come. Thank you, thank you. You perceive it before Altus even does sometimes. I don't know. Like, for some reason, my algorithm picks you up, like, almost each time new Altus art comes out. Then again, to be honest, I think Altus has, like, all of us have, like, oh my god, like, the fan artists in each boys community, like, y'all are amazing, by the way. You guys, like, all the different art styles, like, it's always such a treat looking at. But Altus particularly has some gorgeous fan art out there. Like, sometimes just, like, so beautiful. Sometimes awooga, holy, you know what I mean? But yeah. I feel like that's always the thing, right? Sexy fan art? Thank you. Oh, but yeah, man. Just wait till my sheet comes out. I will be that artist. Damn. Damn. All right. All right. Can confirm. Back and front is impressive. Sorry, when I say front, I meant the chest, not... Oh my god. Wait, sorry, I just realized how that could be... Oh my god. I mean, like... he is impressed. You know what? I'm gonna stop myself right now. I'm gonna stop myself right now. You know what? I'm so sorry to everybody, to all the aspirants of FSP EN Gen 3 who who made it up until this point of the VOD. I'm sorry. This is, yeah, you're getting me as a senpai. It's how it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. I don't know what else to tell you, man. You have to deal with me. And if you're the dog, it's gonna be worse, because, you know, head pats, walkies, the whole shebang. Yeah, you're stuck with me, man. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think I overextended. I only intended this to be like an hour, 30 to 2 hours most. Or like over that. Like way over that. Holy shit. Way over that. We're gonna... We're gonna raid into Zanny so that Zanny can raid later into Mr. Altus or Mr. Gale. But yeah, Zanny's playing Vampire Therapist. Mr. Altus and Mr. Gale are gonna be collabing on Jump King Quest, so be sure to catch that later as well. And it's actually pretty straight, the schedule. Like, there's always a guy streaming within the next more than 12 hours, so you guys are in for a treat. You guys are, yeah, you guys have a lot to look forward to. There's never gonna be a dull moment. There's FSP Boyos covering almost each hour until 3 p.m. JST, so you guys are fed. Yeah, back-to-back streams. And I will see you all tomorrow for a membership. Yeah. Schedule's gonna be cray cray when Gen 3 comes out. Yeah, it's gonna be like every single hour somebody's streaming, I swear. Yes, I'll see y'all tomorrow for I have 2 streams to, well, no, actually technically 1 stream. Depends on your time zone. It's 2 streams for some of y'all. Menchi, tomorrow we're playing bingo due to popular demand. A lot of people wanted to play bingo again, so you know, who am I to say no to that? If it's what Cupcake wants, Cupcake gets. More bingo, more suffering. Lovely. After bingo, we have Pokemon Unite. This is technically next day for like the JSTers because this is like 12 midnight. So yeah, I'll see you all then. If you guys want to tune into more Ryzar Blazenfang and want to head out. Since it is a membership though, if you want to join in on bingo, make sure to subscribe. Sorry, not subscribe. I mean, you know what? If you haven't subscribed yet, might as well subscribe as well. But join the Blazing Gang if you want to join the membership. Yeah, and then Poppy Playtime on Friday. We have the Amogus on Saturday, which is like a special event, one-time thing-ish thing. Mother Simulator on Sunday. So yeah, we're streaming almost every day. I'll see you guys then. All right then. Yeah, I'm gonna take my leave now. I'm actually getting tired as well. I need to catch up on more sleep. That's one of the reasons why I've been suffering-ish lately. My sleep has been so weird ever since I've been experimenting with the times a bit for stream. And lesson learned, I really do need like 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Let's see. Redirect. All right, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I will see you all again tomorrow. Have fun with Mr. Xander, followed by Mr. Altus and Mr. Gale, followed by the next boys up in line for streams. This has been Ryzar Blazenfang, one heck of a stuffy-nosed Dinoboi from First Stage Production Ian, 2nd generation Ravanis. Hope this was helpful to those that were trying to audition for Gen 3, or for those that, you know, might have learned a thing or two about your Dinoboi or auditioning in general. If it was not useful, then edi wow. Sorry na. Mew-Mew-chan, thank you for the Kangeni Raizupa sneak at you. Too bad I'm allergic to your absence. Aww, that's cute. Okay, you know what? You know what? You know what? That was an unexpected Riz. Somewhat. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I will take my leave now. Have fun with Zanny. And yeah, see y'all tomorrow. Have fun. Bye-bye. Love y'all. Love you, Cupcake. Love you, Cupcake. See you then. Do you see what I'm hugging right now? It's you. It's you. It's you. Only Cupcake. Yeah. Alright. Bye-bye. I almost hit the end stream button by accident. Lol. So funny. Lamau. Bye. Okay. Yeah. Stuffy nose. Medicine. Brain not working. Goldfish memory. Dummy Dinoboi. Thank you for accepting your Dinoboi. I love you guys. I missed you guys. We're gonna have so much fun these next few days, I promise. Love you, Cupcake. Mwah. All right. Yeah, I need to take care of my nose. Dinoboi out. Excuse me, fossilized snot. Okay, you know what? I'm going.